Right, go.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to. Oh, hello! Oh, look at that! If you're watching on if you're watching on YouTube, sorry, I've interrupted myself already. Look at that! Paul Tangent Richardson, Dickie Bow.
Hello.
I say, ding dong there, Richardson. Oh, blimey! So if you're only listening to this, you missed out there. But anyway, don't interrupt myself. Let's carry on. So yes, welcome. You won't believe it. It's only episode 100.
Woohoo! Hey,
Hey,
100. We got
woo,
there. Thank
we
God for
made it.
that.
I
Can we
mean,
stop now?
yeah, yeah. This is the final episode. I mean, I
It's out of
don't
my
know how
neck.
we made it, to be quite honest, but we did. And you know what? We had to buy an extra chair as well because we've got someone who's come back, but more of that in a second. Shall I do the introductions, gentlemen?
So,
Yes.
Yes, I struggled with saying introductions there. So, first of all, let's say hello to mute button Matt Richards.
hello, go. Hello, listeners. Welcome to the 100th show. This is exciting stuff.
Oh, wow. I know. I can't wait. Woohoo! Next up, he's the man they call the voice of reason. It's only Simmo. Hello, Simmo.
Hi, Gull. Evening, everybody. Looking forward to it.
Lovely. Sounding good there as well, Simmo, for a change. Hey,
Always helps.
next up. Oh, I know. Next up. Oh, hey. Woohoo! Hiya! It's only Neil Bygone Berrigan. Hello, mate.
All right. Just you okay?
Yeah, I hope you're going to wave at the end when we do our goodbyes.
Yeah.
Don't
I'm
wave
honored
yet,
to be here for the 100th episode. I'm really looking forward to it.
Lovely, excellent. Don't get too emotional too soon. There might be tears at some point. I don't know. Yes. Oh, ho, ho. Look at that. I've never seen him looking so dapper. Oh, you certainly made an effort. They call him the tangential one. It's Paul Tangent Richardson.
Thanks, Carl. Well, I thought, the 100th episode, I'd make a smart entrance. I'm going to be honest with you. The neck's already aching. I'm not used to wearing such attire. I think you might see a costume change, as it's the 100th episode quite early on. But, I thought I'd try and make a grand entrance, let's say that. But yeah, can't believe it. 100th episode. We're here. Amazing.
And for those that are just listening, Tangent didn't reveal himself until we went live. So we had no idea what he would have been wearing. It could have been anything. He could have been naked for all we know.
And they were very nervous, let me assure you.
It's a relief.
Yeah.
We're just glad he's dressed. So, yes, it's a special episode. And guess what? We have got a former contributor back. Yes,
Hey.
it's only the man that has left the discotheque, left Alex Hedgehog Jones to come back on the podcast. It's the man with the luscious locks, and if you're watching on YouTube, the luscious beard as well. Oh, matron. It's only Ridders. Hello, Ridders.
Hi, Gull. Thanks for that introduction. Fantastic. And yeah, just happy to be on the 100th episode, chatting to the guys. And I know there's some decent stuff coming up on this pod. So hello, listeners, and hello, lads. Nice to be back.
And of course, it wouldn't be Ridders on the podcast without the Red Hot Chili Peppers sending in your theme tune. So hang on, I'll just press play. Beep. Rid away now.
Thank you, Gull. And thanks to the Chili Peppers. That's really
Brilliant.
kind of them.
I sent them an email. I told them you were coming back in, and they were like, "Oh." So, okay.
You told him he's a friend of Hedgehog Jones, and then they agreed to do it, right?
Oh yeah. As soon as I mentioned that, call blimey, yeah. Yeah, and I'm your host, of course. Well, I'm not your host. What am I talking about? This isn't a normal episode. Well, I'm just Gull. Hello.
Hello.
Well, thanks for that, lads. Hey. Right
Evening.
then. This is going to be a very different episode. It's going to be so much fun. We've got some surprises coming, some great stuff. But I'll hand over to Matt to tell us more.
Yes, thank you, Gull. So it's a different type of show. What we're going to be doing, we're going to be going over every single episode we've done before. We're going to cover it in depth for about an hour each. So it might it might be slightly longer than normal.
I've got to take this bow tie off straight away. Then trust me, I'm not even going to survive the first episode.
No. We're going to go over some of the episodes we've done before, some of the past contributors and the interviews, but we're going to get the guys all our recollections of those episodes. So we're going to start that shortly. First of all, though, I'm going to do, as is traditional, I'm going to do the social media feedback. So Melvin's musings. Gull is there.
Whoa, it's Melvin's musings.
Oh, he's been fine-tuning those for this episode, hasn't he?
Yeah, I know. Right. Okay. So here's from the Melvster. So, Champ, we are united on the cusp of joining the 100 club because obviously this is for episode 99. Matchday 99 saw Tangent Paul take on the team managerial duties, enabling Gull, the podcast GOAT, to play a more ambassadorial role in the director's box. Gull sat alongside Eamon Andrews, together with the numerous other dearly departed celebrities who now flock to Champ Towers to relive the very best football comic action of yesteryear, and also sampled the Torbay prawn sandwiches in the Doc Cotton hospitality suite.
Oh, hi.
The tangential one, who is no stranger to taking charge of the side, prompted and encouraged the players to deliver the entertaining brand of football comic punditry, which has made Champ We United the UK's #1 football comic podcast. Woohoo! Thanks for the woo. Simmo opened the scoring with the fourth instalment of his superb We Are United feature. However, not even Alex Hedgehog Jones could have body swerved the tech gremlin that jumped in two-footed to halt the Voice of Reason's free-flowing performance.
Forgotten that.
That was brilliant. Thankfully, play continued as the quick-thinking tangential one made a timely intervention from his technical area and finished Simmo's section with the assurance of striker Terry Evans. Thankfully, after receiving attention from an IT specialist, Simmo recovered from the red card challenge and carried on Tug Wilson-like with his official VOR duties for the rest of the episode. Next up was Mute Button Matt with another of his classic This Is Your Comic Life features. The Mutester's spotlight this time fell on the football career of Sammy Spangler, and he's got a little asterisk there, so we'll come back to that in a minute. We learned that Spangler was discovered by Milchester Rovers chief scout Archie Miller whilst he performed a juggling act in his dad's circus. Unfortunately, Matt, formerly known as the man with no nickname, reveals how Sammy didn't quite turn out to be the Rover Knight sensation that Archie promises manager Tony Storm he will be. Very good, Melster.
See what he did
button,
there.
Yep, I see what you did there. The mute button maestro hits top form with his section and pulls off the Sammy Spangler story with great aplomb. And I think pulls off was meant as well. And he comes back with the asterisk. He says, not to be confused with the porn star of the same name, who is also capable of balancing the football on a certain part of his anatomy. Just after,
I say, steady on there, chaps.
Steady on, Melster. Just after the hour mark, before you could sing Bygone, Bygone, Give Us a Wave.
Hey.
Hiya.
Bygone Berrigan, aka Bygone Winston, went completely continental. As the football comic historian delivered his second Klein and Powell feature, he expertly voice cloned an unscrupulous Italian gangster by the name of Paolo Certi. Paolo Certi.
Paolo Sartre.
Yes, you can do it much better than me.
There we go.
Whilst Bygone has previously brought to life Charlie, aka Grandad, Cockney villain from the mean streets of Brummington, his latest linguistic display suggests that he's clearly been working with a dialect coach behind the scenes, and begs the question: is the Podstar now looking for a lucrative move abroad? Bygone Berrigan covered every blade of grass within the Iron Man edition of Football Picture Story Monthly and showed he's a big game player like Kevin Klein proved himself to be. Your 100th appearance beckons, lads. Many thanks for the great escape, and the Melvster thanks us all.
Oh,
Oh, wonderful.
Stuff.
Wonderful.
Wonderful stuff.
Top musings as always.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Well said there.
A couple of other bits of feedback. Ian Golden, friend of the show, was
Friend
talking
of the
about.
show. Hang on. Golden Brown, friend of the show.
He was talking about United is around. He reckons United is probably around the Northampton area. We went into that conversation about where do we think United could be based.
Yeah.
And also another friend of the show, John Evans, said, "Brilliant as always. Bring on 100."
Oh, Evans is a place on the podcast.
Oh dear, I'm
Going to be a long night.
I did never
Long
think
night,
that
strap
Gull was
yourself
going to
in.
go Belinda Carlisle.
Right. Okay. So let's go over some of the old podcasts, shall we? So first of all, before we start this, so it's nearly 4 years. So in March 2021. That's
Oh, wow.
100 episodes. That's around 200 features. 20 interviews.
Wow.
I reckon. And that's including 3 with Pete Nash, 6 with David Skew, and 6 with Barry Tomlinson. Then we have Paul Trevelyan, Giles Corran. That's over 150 hours we've done. So it's amazing stuff, really. So I'm going to kick off them from the first kind of 20 episodes. So obviously the first one we had, it was just Rav and Gull. Simmo and Ridders joined from episode 2. I'm going to play some clips shortly just to kind of remind us of that stuff. Pete Nash was there on the 5th episode. Pete Nash special, incredible stuff. Followed by Barry Tomlinson. Actually, although then the quality of guests slightly dips a bit because I came in at number 8.
Suddenly they were scratching the surface.
They were scratching.
We need another guest.
Early.
I've muted that out of my memory.
Very good.
Search Facebook quickly.
Yeah, anyone will do. We had Kevin McCallion. He was interviewed. Rab did an interview with him from the Daily Record.
Yeah.
And then Gull and Rab did an interview with James Bacon from Journey Plant about War Comics.
Oh, what an episode that was.
Yeah.
Then the obviously the website. So the Champion United website celebrated its 11th birthday. Verso joined. Remember Verso? So shout out to Verso. Yeah. He was with us for about 8 episodes. And it was the first David Skew special. That was on the 20th episode. So I'm going to play a few clips from some of those shows just as a bit of a reminder. And then I'll come back to you guys and see what your memories are. This is from episode 2.
Okay, very good evening to you once again, and welcome to what is now episode 2 of Champ We Are United podcast. And delighted to say right away, tonight we're joined by Simmo this time. Well,
yeah, I'll try and finish the game with some, not get.
And Gull once again in episode 2, and also this evening delighted to welcome along Ridders, all the way from Liverpool.
Yeah,
right? And it's good to see you.
The blue half.
Blue half indeed. The blue half indeed.
Episode 2. Right, I'm going to show a bit of a clip now of episode 5. So this is actually quite interesting because it reminds us of what we were all going through at that time as well. Episode 5.
And this evening we have with us part of the usual team in the form of Gull.
Good evening, everyone. As I always say, unless you're listening to this during the day.
Indeed. And a very special guest indeed tonight is Mr. Pete Nash, creator, of course, of Striker. And so for this podcast, it really is a Striker special throughout. We're going to be chatting all things Striker and also Cyclops with Pete and hearing a lot about his career in the industry and his work. So very good evening to you, Pete.
Good evening, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Great to have you. Great to have you with us tonight. Are you well?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, I think like everybody, I can't wait to get into the pubs again. I'm in the Isle of Man, where we've actually, I think I mentioned earlier before we came on air, we were at avoided lockdowns for most of the time that COVID's been around, because being an island, we were able to eliminate it and keep it at bay. But unfortunately, we had been in a circuit breaker lockdown because someone from the steam packet crew caught it and passed it on. So I've just heard that we're coming out of it on Monday. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is heading to the pub.
Quite right, too.
Absolutely.
No escaping it, is there?
So that was Pete. That was episode number 5. Now, episode number 8 is my introduction to the board as a guest. Actually, funny enough, when I've done the clip, actually, this is a whole hour. This will be amazing.
Yeah, this is the clip of the show.
It's important that everybody can listen to this one again.
Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Oh, sorry. All right, then play it.
Welcome to Champ We Are United podcast, episode number 8. And happy to say that this evening, joining me in the studio are Matt Richards. Good evening, Matt.
Hiya.
And we also have Ridders.
Hello, everyone. You all right?
And Gull.
Good evening, everyone. Unless you're listening during the day.
That joke never gets old, does it?
Oh, but it's not like you to repeat a joke, Gull, is it?
I don't even think he does. I think he just presses play on everything he's got. Not even there.
Right, now, episode 12. This is the first one. Gull host.
Oh, God.
So let's have a listen to this one.
Hello, and welcome to episode 12 of the Champ We Are United podcast. 12 episodes. Can you believe it? This evening is a little bit different because unfortunately we don't have our usual host, Rabbi. Hopefully he'll be back next week. And Ridders as well. So there'll be no Ridders reviews. Hopefully he will be back next week too. And we will get back on the Football Picture Story monthlies. But I'll tell you who we do have. Only Simmo. Good evening, Simmo.
Good evening, Gull. How are you today?
I'm very well. Nice to hear your voice. Welcome back, because you've missed a couple of the podcasts, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, just 1 or 2. Me and technology just don't get on.
Yeah, there's some repeating themes, isn't there? Jokes, technology problems.
Absolutely.
Technology problems? What are they? We've never had that on this pod, surely.
I'm going to play this last one, and then we'll get you guys recollections of those first 20 episodes. Yeah, this is a good one. This is episode 16.
Sometimes I do impressions. Yeah. It's a funny old game. It's a funny old game.
Some that's a Bruce Forsyth now.
You want me to do Bruce Forsyth now?
So that was Bruce Forsyth.
Very funny. Right, bye.
Brilliant.
Do you remember that goal?
Oh, yeah. Was that the first time I really did impressions, was it?
I don't know. I couldn't listen to all of these. So I don't think you might have
It's
done
not the
that
first
before
time
then.
you did.
I'm sure it must have been before.
I'm confused with the word impressions. I thought these were the real guests.
Yeah, sorry.
Behind the curtain.
That's the smell in the studio that you've often mentioned, Neil, of all those voices of 1,000 dead guests.
So let's ask you guys that are involved in those hosting those first few shows. Then, Ridders, let's come out to you, because we heard your dulcet tones a few times there.
Yeah.
What memories do you have of those early episodes?
It was like we just alluded to there. I think it was the time we were in. It was lockdowns. It was something to do in lockdown, to chat to the guys in those strange times, and yeah, just talking about Champ and We Are United and stuff like that. It was something completely different as well. I mean, the listeners now know we're all professional podcasters these days, but back then, seeing a few gaps in the format, a few slips, but yeah, it was just something really interesting to do. It was brand new. We were all doing video calls at the time, and so we were doing everything else, and being very nervous before. I was on episode 2, wasn't I? So that was my first one, and just being like, "What the hell?" But good fun though, and it was good hearing Rab in the headphones again.
Yeah. Well, we've got a message for him soon, so
oh, cool. Okay.
I'll play that shortly. Gull, what are your memories? Obviously, you're on the first one.
Yeah, I mean, you can see between episode 1 and 12 that I got a better bit of sound quality. I mean, that first episode, I mean, we were rubbish. Well, I was anyway. Rab was okay, but we said this before. It was just, and Ridders kind of alluded to it as well. It was just, us getting together to make sure we're okay, and we recorded it, and there we go. That was it, really. Otherwise, I think we would have gone under. It was a way of keeping in touch. Because believe it or not, listeners, and I know it's hard to believe, we're not actually in the studio together. I know. I can't believe it.
Well, hold on. So how comes I'm so cramped on this chair then, if you're not all here?
All your bloody comics.
I couldn't believe by episode 5 we had Pete Nash on. That just blew our mind, and both Rab and I were so nervous because he was an idol of ours. So we were so nervous, but it was a brilliant episode. And then of course Barry Tomlinson on episode 6, that was a great one too. I just remember it being just a joy to come on and record and spend time with you guys and talk about the stuff that we liked. It was very rough around the edges, and I'm talking about episode 99 really.
Thank God we got better.
Well, you did. And that's pretty much my memories of everything. Of course, Simmo should have been on episode 1 as well. But of course, he's had more technical issues than British Telecom. Do you know what I mean? So
Simmo.
Go on, Simmo.
Wow.
Wise words.
I thought I'd, stick to what normally happens. No, it was great. It was because really the guys who were on the first few, obviously we knew each other kind of thing from the forum, but we'd never, we couldn't put a face to the name. I mean, I'd spoken to Gull on the phone a few times over the years, but I'd never spoken to Ridders. I'd never spoken to Rabbi. So it was just like, it was more of a social thing.
Yeah.
But having something in common that linked us all. And I don't know what the other guys thought of how far they thought it was going to go, whether how long it was going to last. But yeah, it was just brilliant. It was just nice, to put a face to a name and actually get to talk to these guys. I mean, I felt a bit like a fish out of water because, their comic knowledge is like dwarfs mine. It's like on a completely different level. But yeah, it was just nice to be involved. It's great.
Yeah, it was.
If I may answer that question about what the regulars there, how long they thought it might last type question. To be honest, in all seriousness, I was surprised that we got to the end of episode bloody 1.
Well, trust me, listening to it, I wasn't sure you were going to.
I don't think many people have. It's great stuff. Okay, well let's we've heard from him already, but it's very kind that actually we reached out to the first person whose voice you actually heard on the show. So we're gonna hear a little message from Rab himself.
A very good evening and welcome to Champ We Are United podcast episode number 1. No, that's not right. It's hitting episode number 100 quite incredibly. And as someone who was involved way back on the very first one along with Gull and Simmo, I'd just like to wish everyone a hearty congratulations on the quite simply outstanding work that you've put into it over the past few years, and it's absolutely brilliant to see the podcast go very much from strength to strength, and here's to the next 100.
There you go.
Fantastic.
Oh,
Great to hear him again, isn't it? Great to hear him.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. It's like a
Just to
takes you
I
back.
was back in episode 1 there. I'm actually filling up a little.
Okay, come on, let's save the tears for later, Gull. We've still got another 80 episodes to go.
We've still got some of your impressions to listen to.
Oh, no.
We want listeners to stay with us. Come on. Let's
Yeah.
But
Actually,
that was wonderful to hear from Mav. If I may, those early days, he put a lot of hard work into the stuff as well. And his contributions were brilliant. So thank you, Rab, for joining us at the start and for everything you did.
And he just nailed it, didn't he? Right from the start, he just got that voice of authority. He just sounded like it was second nature to him.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So anyway, you mentioned that we might have some special guests coming on, didn't you? And we did actually get a few messages coming through. I think they got in touch with you first. We're gonna play them through the show. Obviously listeners have heard them before, but we've got some special messages from people. Here's the first one.
I'm Morgan Freeman. Congratulations on 100 podcasts.
There's another one coming in as well.
Comic redemption
from another actor.
Very good. Excellent, Paul. Excellent.
Ricky, Frank Butcheria, thanks for having me on the podcast. Ricky, happy 100.
Wow, it's amazing that these people, especially Frank. I mean, he's dead, but he still found time. Right, he still found time to dial that in. It's amazing what the lengths people go to. Quite humbling, really.
Yeah.
Can't believe how far, wide, and into different,
dimensions.
that we managed to reach.
It's a warning for the listeners. You can die, but you're still going to get away from us.
You'll still be a friend of the show, and you might get a theme tune.
Ghost of the show.
Ghosts of the show. Yeah.
Friend of the dead.
It still blows my mind that they're not the real people.
Bless you there, Bygone, but I think you may be taking the piss.
Right, anyway,
no. Sorry, swear jar. 50p.
Right, okay, so let's move it on then. So we move on to the next 10 or 20 episodes. So this is we're talking about episodes 20 to 30 and 30 to 40. So Verso, who was here then, he used to do his collection corner. So he used to talk about his collection. I think Gull, you did something on Secret Wars, and you and Rab did a ground hopping episode as well. There's one on 2000 AD. Then I think it stopped for a little while, or the pod was going to stop because it was I think it was a bit of a struggle to get as much content in. So I joined on episode 20. He was so desperate again, thinking, who will come on?
God, there's a bloke been pasting quite a bit in the old Royal Rovers Facebook group. Let's see if we can get him on.
He's desperate. Let's face it, he's stalking us.
We're falling apart. I know. Let's get mute button on.
Exactly. So I joined. Actually, I first joined as a presenter on 29. I did a 1958 Royal Rovers annual with Rab. Then we had the second David Skew special and Rab's farewell, because Rab then kind of ducked out. He did come back later for the 50th. We did a Torquay United special. Do you remember Bryn the police dog?
Oh gosh, yes.
And then Simmo came back because Simmo been away for a little while. Ridders, I think you'd kind of dropped away by this time, and then we started doing the Master Champ Challenge. Who remembers the Master Champ Challenge? It was our attempt to just get some more content, I think, really. I think we had some classic episodes of that, and I think I'm going to play some of it now. So this was the very
tell
first.
Me you've got Gull's one from the 80s.
I couldn't possibly say. But let's play the.
Please, Simmo, piss off.
This is episode 36.
I know what's coming.
Right, number 1, Gull, The Crown.
I don't know. That's not a good start. I think it's 1980 number ones.
If you don't know, just say pass.
Pass.
Yeah.
Say
Sure.
pass.
Next one.
Where the heart is.
Deacon Blue.
No.
No. Right. Silver.
I don't know. Pass. This is going well.
These are my tricky ones. I'm sorry, Gull. Go on, keep going.
Good thing going.
Are you sure these are 1980s top 40s?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I did check.
Pass. You're making me
Pass
look
again,
stupid
right?
now.
Intuition.
Intuition. It's Spandau Ballet.
No.
Hang on, it was the other one. Pass.
Hold me tighter in the rain.
Pass.
I can't wait.
New shoes.
Yay!
Golden green.
Golden green.
That's a tricky one. That's a tricky one. It was top 40. I feel so guilty
Pass.
now. Even now I do.
I don't like this game anymore.
More.
Oh, that was Carmel.
Yeah, well done. Love is a Wonderful Colour.
Oh, the Christians.
Oh, no.
Roachford.
No. It's the Icicle Works.
Okay.
Story of the Blues.
The Mighty War.
Right, time's up.
That was rubbish.
I think that's the only thing you got correct, Gull, really, was that's your final comment, I think. Oh, that's
good. It's a good job we didn't ask him about the Matterhorn, wasn't it?
Oh dear, Gull. Gull, what were your should we go over the pain again? What are your memories of that?
Well, I mean, it was one of my party tricks up until that point. I could pretty much name any top 40 single from the 80s, and then I get stitched up good and proper by you guys. I mean, I absolutely was dying inside. Pass. Oh, God. No,
I'm
it was
sorry.
to redeem myself, though, at some point in the future. Though,
Don't worry, Gull, and don't worry, listeners. I've got these the redemption.
I thought that was one of the missed recordings that we were trying to get hold of, but we couldn't find the can in the studio.
I will also reference Simmo's mention of the Matterhorn. You know, if being made a fool of in public wasn't enough, he then mentions that, and I'll just reference that. That's him taking the piss out of my appearance on Blind Date back in the 90s. So thanks for that.
Date.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Blind Date and the Weakest Link as well. Yeah.
Did somebody ask him about the Matterhorn on the Blind Date as well? I mean, I must have missed that one.
What sort of date was that? Anyway, it's not.
That's right, isn't it? Yeah, it was the Weakest Link, not Blind Date. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Blind Date, Gull gets the horn.
Does it matter?
So those shows, we actually did some World Cup specials. Do you remember, Simmo? We did the World Cup specials for the World Cup in December 2022. So we did about 4 or 5 of those. Gull, I think you did some songs, football songs, didn't you? And World Cup songs. Do you remember?
Yeah.
So let's go out. So, Simmo, what do you remember? Do you remember the World Cup specials? Do you remember those? We did about 4 or 5 of them. Do you remember those?
Yeah, I think we did. Did we do a preview one before it started, and then we did like a weekly update, didn't we? Because I think we go weekly during the World Cup, just so that feature would be kind of up to date.
Yeah.
We waxed lyrical about that, didn't we? And I'm sure we all got it completely and utterly wrong.
Yeah, funny enough, I didn't bother going back to find out just in case. Right, and then
didn't comment on any of Steve Marks's goal for England. I remember that much, Simmo.
If I may add as well, sorry there, Matt.
Go on.
I love the fact that the UK's best comic book podcast in the world was doing just World Cup specials and nothing to do with comics. Move on.
Well, do you know something, Matt? Obviously, you're asking the guys because they were involved, but I was a listener, and I did listen to those, and it did make me laugh. But you know, in those early days, how you started, you got to take my hat off to you. But as you said, the fact that you got Pete Nash and Barry Tomlinson, and there was times when I was listening, I was like, I was listening for comic content, but you kept the show going, and you did still put some bits in there, which certainly kept me coming back as a listener. And no disrespect, there wasn't any other football comic podcast content out there, so not coming back each episode. So yeah, it was good. It was good, and it came across that you guys, you know, were fans and enthusiasts, just as we all still are. So, and you just kept the pod going.
You stuck by it because there was no alternative.
I was going to say.
Well, no, but obviously you listen to your football content from your actual football podcast, right? So obviously I did tune in for the comic stuff, but you guys, you kept it going. And it's interesting to know.
I'm just gonna. Yeah, you didn't mention knowledge there, did you? You didn't say knowledgeable. It was like fans, enthusiasts, nothing exactly knowledgeable. Thanks, Paul. Cheers.
Can I just say, watching on YouTube, Tangent Paul, he looks like he's like a continuity announcer in the broom cupboard. I'm just waiting for Gordon McGofer to turn up.
Wait till the second half of the show.
Wow.
Right. Anyway, so
I think he's just a week late for the Royal Rumble. He looks like one of the ringside announcers.
Exactly. Well, I believe we will be doing Johnny Cougar's comic book life at some point.
Yeah.
I just want to say, for somebody who obviously I wasn't involved in them, but I have listened to some of the episodes from around that time. And I think, you know, like you said, they're not comic book related, but I think the way it was delivered in the early days, and I think now, I think it's great just to listen to because it feels like, you know, friends. You know, like when I joined, I didn't feel like awkward when I came on. I think it does just come across that it's just great to listen to you guys talking rather than just being about. I know the focus is comic books, but like you said, it's about sport, pop music. I remember listening to some of them and just thinking, like you say, we've not mentioned comics, but the content's still good, and it's just like chatting to your friends, but you know you're listening to the content. So
see, Paul, it is possible to say nice things.
I think there was maybe like a little conscious effort just to do something different occasionally, just so that it doesn't sound kind of like just the same old thing week in, week out kind of thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, in all fairness, you guys were covering your interests as well. You know, I mean, obviously, Gull showing what a demon he was of his knowledge of pop music around the 80s, and all things Eurovision and stuff like that.
Oh, the Eurovision! I don't think have we gone past that one yet? I can't remember. Anyway, what I'm
that.
going to do, because that was not very kind to Gull. We're now up to episode 49.
49?
Yeah, Gull had his chance of redemption, so I'm going to play some clips of that now.
And then it's time for the Master Champ Challenge. Of course, the theme tuner we played as always. Mm-hmm. And this week it's my turn. And Simmo, what is my specialist subject?
Well, we're yet to find it, but this week we're actually going to be testing you on Duran Duran.
Hey,
do you know what? That should go on your highlights reel. That's one of the funniest jokes you've said, and it only took 49 episodes.
Well, there's not many to choose from, is it? It's a very brief highlights show.
Yes, so it's Duran Duran. Looking forward to that. I'm a big fan of Duran Duran, always have been. So let's see me get shot down in flames as always.
So that's big words. Big words. Don't build yourself up. We know what's happened before.
Master Champ Challenge, yeah!
Number one, we'll start with something which should be fairly easy. Where were the group formed?
The Rum Runner in Birmingham.
Well, I'll give you right, Birmingham. Where was their first residency?
Rum Runner, Birmingham.
Very good.
Is that going to be the answer for? Is that going to be your answer for all the questions?
What was their first record label? Oh, it's all gone quiet.
EMI?
It certainly was. There were 5 spin-off groups from Duran Duran. I'm going to give you 4 of them. Can you give me the one that's missing?
I can give you all of them. I can give you all of them.
Go on then.
So Power Station.
Yeah.
Arcadia.
Yep.
Neurotic Outsiders.
Yep.
TV Mania.
Yep.
The Devils.
Well done.
Wow.
I didn't even need to ask you which one was missing, did I?
Good stuff.
How many top 40 singles have they had?
I could probably name them all. But 5. There's more than 10. So, Planet Earth. Girls on Film. My Own Way. My answer is 24.
We've had a few more than that, to be fair. Actually, 30. That's 10 out of 12.
That's it.
Excellent.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. That's good. I thought
back on form.
Yeah,
That is a
definitely.
very impressive performance.
So there you go. I did have to clip that, but you know, if listeners have heard that episode, they'll realise that Gull actually went through at least 24. It was really impressive. You know, your knowledge of Duran Duran singles was amazing. So you did very well there, Gull. Well done there.
Thank you very much. And I, as you guys probably know, as I posted, or maybe you don't, I this week got tickets to see Duran Duran for the second time. By Chic and Nile Rodgers in July.
Amazing. I know. Excellent stuff. So we're now up to episode 50. So episode 50, Ridders came back and you did your Ridders retro. You started your Ridders retro reviews. Because and Rab came back, didn't he, for the 50th as well? That was a special one. He hosted that one. Actually, episode 51 was the Eurovision, which I'd try and put it out of my memory. We had an interview with somebody called Paul Richardson, 52. I don't know. Did he ever come back?
Scraping the barrel there, scraping the barrel.
Yeah, don't know.
All I remember, he knew all the Manchester Rovers goalkeepers or something like that, but he was obsessed with Donut Dobson. Needs to get rid of him.
It's our first 4-hour podcast, was it?
They've all been 4 hours since. I never used to have to edit them before Paul joined. Now it takes me a week. We did. Ridders did. You did local rivals. You did United local rivals. You did On the Cheap. That's Football Picture Story Monthly 225. You did The Dream as well. You did The Dream.
Yes.
417.
Okay. Yeah. That's the last United one.
The very last, last one. Yeah, and you did the United database. During this time as well, we had episode 58. Anyway, we got a theme tune.
Yes.
From the one and only Tim Skew. So David Skew's son very kindly reached out to us, and he did it, totally free. And ever since then, we've had our fantastic theme tune. So again, shout out to Tim. Thank you for that. And I'm going to play just a couple of clips from episode 57 because that was the 4th David Skew special, and then I'll come back to you guys for your memories of those episodes. So here we have episode 57. This is how it began.
Yeah, and then they asked me to stand in for the artist doing scorer for a couple of weeks, maybe 3,
Whoa. All right. God, blimey. Do you know what, listeners? Sorry, you just interrupted us. David Skew is still talking from the last episode a year ago. God.
Do you want me to stop?
No, don't.
And a second clip. This is the classic.
There's one when you click into it and it says comic strips, and then it says Ann Summers ranting rabbit.
Right.
And it's a picture of.
But that's another funny story because what's her name? Jacqueline Gull got in touch with me. She's the CEO of Ann Summers. And I had a Spanish girlfriend at the time, and I said, "Well, I agreed to do it if you send some samples." Anyway, so I said, "Yeah, well, it sounds okay. Send me the script, and I'll do a layout for you." And she said that she really liked Ulrika and liked the way that I drew ladies, and so that's how I received the script and it said a white rabbit in the football kit, on the shoulders, a la Bobby Moore, of 3 or 4 beautiful ladies, right? And I actually did several, because that one on there is the English strip. I also did the Brazilian strip.
Oh, wow.
And another one, I can't remember, but that was all done on the computer. So when I sent the rough to her, the visual, she rang me and she said, I'm chuffed to bits with this, David, because we're going to make it into a poster. And a guy I did one of the first podcasts ever for, interviews, was an Irish guy. And he got in touch with me to say that he went into the local town and said, that's David Skew's work with this great poster in the window. Right? Anyway, so I'm talking to her and she said, I'm very pleased with it. Go ahead to artwork, etc. Right? And we'd agreed on a good price. And I say, excuse my ignorance, my naivete, but what is the rabbit for? She said,
sorry, Matt, I did say I was wondering if I was going to take us down the rabbit hole here.
Well, she said...
Careful when you say hole.
She said, that's the white rabbit is rampant rabbit is our top selling vibrator, but we can't advertise it anywhere. So this is how we're doing it.
Go ahead, David.
I was going to say I was tempted to put a dildo in his hand instead of the Charles Rimet cup.
It's, I'm just thinking about the picture you did for the Brazilian shot. But anyway, it's not going on.
And that's a close shave.
The fabulous, the wonderful, the one and only David Skew, eh?
Absolutely brilliant.
So what are your memories of those shows? Who wants to go first? So Paul, do you want to go first, because you joined, or you were interviewed on 52 and we haven't got rid of you yet, but you're still here, so that's good.
Well, do you know something? Obviously, I'm mucking about with the guys, but in actual fact, I listened to every episode, and I even remember there was a thing on Facebook I posted on one of the groups, and Ridders, you commented, and I remember even replying to your comment. I was like, "Are you Ridders from the podcast?" All excited, and you contacted me. You contacted me to come on. It was really me thinking, like, what the hell do you want to interview me for? And being so nervous, and never even for 1 second thinking that I'd be back on or become part of the team, and then to be invited back because I think the guys weren't available to do that David Skew interview, and of course, that classic moment. I wanted to ask the question, but I wasn't sure where we were going to go, and here I still am, and I've loved every minute of it. But as Neil said, it's just been a fantastic experience meeting you guys, and friendships have been formed through the comic book. Interest, and it's just as Neil said, and he's right, and as a listener but a part of it, and we've mentioned Ridders, I know you've mentioned it in the past, but it feels actually that we're just a group of lads that get in touch on a Sunday evening and talk about comics. We decide to record it, and if anybody wants to listen, they can listen. I reckon even if we didn't have any listens, we'd do it. And the nerves have gone. And I'm still talking when 1,000 words where one will do. So I'll leave it there. But it's thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, and to get we're going to come on to others, but to interview David Skew on my second appearance was just scary. Yeah.
Ridders, do you want to have a comeback there to having some sort of hero worship from Tangent?
How do you feel about that?
Well, no, great. I mean, I kind of, I sort of just to echo what Paul said, just like it is just good to have a chat, really. And I think this is quite a niche thing, isn't it? It's a niche thing, which is so. Again, there's the 6 of us in here all talking. Well, we're reminiscing, but we're all into this same thing. It's good to have a voice. It's good to have someone to talk to about Hedgehog Jones. Because if I bring that up in work, it's
what? There's hedgehogs at work.
yeah. So, but yeah, and I remember, Paul, you said you had nerves, but I remember you came on and you
were brilliant.
Yeah, just very very natural. and you just kept talking. Which is what you want on a podcast, so it's all good.
Well, just one thing I do, because obviously we knew we were doing this, and I've been away for work. So I've actually been listening to some of the episodes, and I listened to my interview, and I was laughing at myself, as we all do. We repeat words, but the one thing I kept on apologising for talking, and both Matt and Gull going, "No, it's fine." But I was like, "Oh my god, I don't think I've shut up."
I was going to say, Ridders.
Yeah.
For the love of God, please don't echo what Tangent said. We'll be here until 2029.
I'll condense what Tangent said in future. That's the best tactic. Yeah.
No, good words. And don't worry, listeners. We'll have more from Bygone soon, because it'll be his interview soon, won't it? But yeah.
Well, no, I was not going to mention that actually. So that's a bit awkward.
Pass over that.
Simmo, what do you remember from those days? If you were there, I think you were fully into the Voice of Reason there. I think you were doing some Master Champ challenges as well, weren't you? I think you did. Ridders did a Master Champ challenge on Everton.
Yeah.
The
Master Champ challenge, kind of, because I loved my quizzes. I love all that online kind of stupid quizzes, just kill time basically. I loved all that kind of stuff. So I was really in my element with that kind of thing. And it was great to, it's just really good to find out a little bit. You kind of get an idea of what people are into, what kind of interests they've got, and it kind of gives you a little bit more of a feel for the people you're dealing with. I think you get to learn a little bit more about them. I loved all that. But I know I was kind of ducking in and out quite a bit around that time, because I've always made the conscious effort to not be involved where the interviews are concerned, because I'll just show my complete and utter lack of knowledge. So,
well, that's why we don't invite you as well.
So that's fair enough. I can totally get it. Yeah, I'll leave that to the experts. And obviously, when you're doing the interviews and that, you don't want too many people in there, otherwise it just detracts from the person you're interviewing. So. I can't really say a great deal about the interviews, because, like I say, it wasn't something that I something I stayed away from.
Yeah, no, well, that's right. We've got to get the balance right, I guess. When we're interviewing people, we kind of 6 people. It seems you've got to think about the person you're interviewing, haven't you? Really, not so much about us. Yeah, exactly. I mean, just around about this time, actually, we did actually have. Before I get on to here, because as mentioned already, that Ridders was doing these retro reviews, and of course, a main feature of your retro reviews, Ridders, I don't even remember, is Gull's. Well, I don't know about. Sorry. There were theme tunes. There were theme tunes. Wasn't there? There were studio guests, weren't there? Yeah.
I was amazed at some of the stars that walked in. I mean, I was completely starstruck.
Well, it's a small studio as well. I mean, it's quite cozy. So, episode 59. This is episode 59.
Hello. You know what's happening now? I'm lining this up. Hang on. You might be able to hear noises, because I've invited Kraftwerk in to do the theme tune for the next.
Sorry, hold on a second. I'll leave the studio. Hold on a sec. They've got lots of synthesizers, haven't they? There's loads of them.
There's no room. That's why you're all on one chair. All right, here we go. Hang on. I'm just letting Kraftwerk in. I'm just letting them in. Hang on. Right, you got your synthesizers lined up. Right, here we go. Next section is. Are you ready? He's Ridders and he retro reviews. Well, I mean, that's amazing. I don't really know how to follow that up. I mean, it's
was one of their songs Tour de France? Did they do that one?
Yeah, that's my favourite one.
I thought it was. Yeah, you wouldn't catch me dead in Paris, though. Forget that.
Yeah, Dead in Paris was bit of another reference to the Weakest Link, wasn't it?
There were some in jokes going on there amongst us, which what I found really funny at the time. It took Gull a while to appreciate or realise what was going on that episode.
Yeah, there was some major Mickey taking, wasn't there?
And he didn't have a clue.
you know what? I swear to you, I'm not lying here. When you were saying all of that, I must have put it out of my mind. I was thinking, what are you what referencing what? I still nearly didn't get it just then. Bloody hell.
Right.
Were there any more things?
Any more things?
go on,
No,
Sam.
no, we haven't. No, but there is there's another message just come in actually from somebody.
Oh,
what's this?
It is the world's best British comic podcast. Don't believe me? Take it from me, Trevor McDonald.
Well, there you go. Nelson Mandela doing his best impression of Trevor McDonald.
I thought that was Smithers.
I thought it was Mr. Burns.
Yeah,
Mr. Burns doing Trevor McDonald. I was actually waiting for him to say, Smithers, what do you think?
That's what I thought it was Mr. Burns.
I think we've got time for one more, then we're going to carry it. This is another one which has just come in as well.
Hey, George Formby here, turned out nice again when I'm cleaning windows. Hey, happy 100th episode, podcast team. Don't forget to buy your George Formby grilling machine. Hey, it's a big bugger, isn't he?
Amazing. Yeah. Still the messages come in. We've got a couple more, one really special one as well, Gull, isn't it? Really special, but it's really quite emotional actually. But we'll save that one for a little bit later.
Yeah.
Episode 60, talk about interviews.
60?
We had 60. Unbelievable. We might make 100. Who knows?
Who knows?
We had Ed Taylor on. Ed Taylor, obviously the creator of With the Rovers 40 Years After, the fantastic Facebook
I realised, by the way, sorry to interrupt, I realised the other day that he's never had a theme tune, so I need to make one up for him. Hang on. Taylor.
Brilliant stuff. So
brilliant.
Ed came on and he spoke about creating the Facebook site. So here's Ed.
I mean, to introduce you, let's start off with that really, because I was going to talk about this a little bit later on, but you created the Facebook site of Royal Rovers 40 years after. Do you want to kind of talk to us about that?
Yeah, I created it, I think, about 2016 when it was 40 years from the first issue of the weekly. So it might need renaming at some point, but at the time there wasn't really any other Royal Rovers pages on Facebook or groups on Facebook. There was one or two, but they were very small. And I thought, well, have a go, see what happens. And I wasn't really expecting much to come of it. And I'm absolutely amazed that we've now got, I think, over 5,000 members on the page. It's just
incredible,
stunning,
fantastic. That's brilliant.
Yeah, and a lot of people are very active as well. I mean, obviously not all 5,000, but you do see the same names cropping up, which is great because you sort of build a relationship with those people a little bit, even if it's only virtual. But yeah, it's really nice to sort of think that there's a community there of people with like-minded interests.
Yeah, and that's what we've been talking about, isn't it? It does feel like there's a kind of community, football comic community across the Facebook sites and our interactions with people that listen to the shows. It's great to hear from Ed again. So so after that, the episodes, we kind of the next 10, some fantastic episodes, and all of us were kind of hosting and presenting on these ones. So Ridders you did United Mini Nations. You did a 3-parter.
Yeah, that's right. I was learning off tangent when I expanding.
Why do one part when you can do 3?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think I did a picture story monthly in 2 parts as well. Which one?
Yeah,
I can't remember. That's 3 parts. That was 3 parts, I think.
Was it? Yeah, I remember the challenge.
Yes, the challenge.
One of my favourite books. I know that one. I absolutely love that one.
We had Paul. You started doing your Euro trilogy, didn't you? Yeah.
Started off with the UEFA Cup run and the kidnapping of Mickey Jordan that we never ever understood why on earth he got kidnapped, because that story just got dropped. But we managed to get through it.
Yeah, Mickey Jordan.
I think the story was longer than the real UEFA Cup run, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We did the football comic life of Tubby Morton. You started your Danefield European Cup. There was a Master Champ Challenge on the World Cup 1982.
Well, can I just say there, because obviously, again, talking about the Master Champ Challenge there, Simmo, and we all laugh at Gull's first one, but what made it funny, Gull, and I do apologise, but you had kind of been telling us listeners that you lined this up and said you knew everything on the 80s music, and then that was the epic foul. But then, obviously, you redeemed yourself with Duran Duran. Ridders, I remember being absolutely astounded at your answers on the Everton questions, because I'll tell you what, Simmo, you are. If they ever need someone to step in and mastermind to set the questions, you've got to be the guy, because you're a nightmare. But you're as well, you Simmo. What you did when you did the United was really, really impressive, and I think that helps the listeners as well, because, like you said, Simmo, it shows the different interests and it shows the knowledge. But until, of course, I came on and did the 1982 World Cup, and then it became abundantly clear that I knew nothing about football whatsoever. I think the only thing I'm still sticking to was that I remembered that Mal Donaghy got a red card, because I think it was the only one that I got out of 12 questions. So
it's quite a difficult thing to do, because you don't really know how much somebody knows, because somebody can say they don't know much, but they actually know more than they realise they know. And on another case, you might have somebody who thinks they know a lot, but like, I think, was it Matt? Was it you that did the one with the James Bond with me? Was it you that set the questions for that one? And you threw me, you did a tangent, you threw me right off, because you were looking for names of directors and stuff like that, things I hadn't even thought about. And it's like,
do you know what? Can you remember what episode that is? Because I'm going to listen back to that one, because it's going to make me feel better about. Because you just saying that, Simmo, that was exactly it. Because I did speak to Matt before, 41. And I kind of
it's 41.
41, right? I'm definitely digging that out in the next couple of days. But I kind of had spoken to Matt in the week, and Matt did say to me, you need to do some revision for Simmo's Master Champ Challenge. And I thought, I kind of knew 82, but you just asked me the sort of questions that I wouldn't have asked. And as you say, that just completely flummoxed me. But yeah, it was great.
I was thinking of what didn't I know the answer to? So I was looking for.
Then if you didn't know, I definitely wouldn't.
Well, no, but it was like, if I know the answer and it's your specialist subject, you're going to fly through it and get them all right. So I was looking for stuff that I didn't know the answer to, thinking, well, he's an expert on it. He's going to get some of these.
Yeah.
But
it was funny, because that was actually the last Master Champ Challenge we did.
Yeah, I ruined the Master Champ Challenge for everybody. I think that was what I do believe in the editorial. Sorry, listeners, people weren't aware of this. I did after that, if maybe we should just concentrate on European Cup journeys from Kings Bay, Danefield, and Melchester Rovers, and drop the Master Champ Challenge.
Well, actually, there was one. There was a special Master Champ Challenge. I don't know if you remember from episode 64, which I'm gonna play for us now. This is it. So I understand. There's a special guest. Is the guest? Have they arrived?
I'll just go and check out. Has the guest arrived? Oh, all right. We'll get him to knock on the pretend door. Hello? Oh, he's here. He's in. And there's room for him now. Cropper tried to move their stuff.
It's a he already. Okay, good. That narrows it down. Who is it?
Well, you won't believe it. It's only bloody Frank Carson. It's a cracker. It's the way I tell him. Frank Carson, news at 10:40.
Right. Okay, so Frank. Hello, Frank.
Ridders, he's lost it.
Frank, hi. It's nice. It's a bit surprising to me. I can't lie, but
it's to me too, because I'm dead.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're all dying.
And now Paul's lost it.
We've got 4 questions here for you, Frank. Okay, which we've compiled, and are we okay to kind of go through them with you? Is that all right?
Yeah, go on. I'll give it a go.
Right, okay. Right, for question number 1. What is the nickname of Blackie Gray's son who went on to play for Melchester Rovers?
It's a cracker.
Correct. Well done. Well done. Well done, Frank. Nice one. Nice one. Good start. Good strong start.
Thank you there, Matt.
Number 2. What was the name of the 80s TV drama starring Robbie Coltrane?
It's a cracker.
Wow. You're doing very well, Frank, already. 2 out of 2. This is very strong. This is strong.
I'd just like to interject, Frank, here. The other 2 are absolutely Come on, 2 in a row.
Okay,
Go on, Frank.
right, number 3. Okay. There's a 70s or 80s children's TV show, which was on at 5 to 5 on a Friday. It's something Jack. Blank Jack. The answer is...
It's a cracker.
Jack. Well done, Frank. That's 3 out of 3. This is incredible. This is superb.
Oh, bloody good.
Right. So we're down to the last question now.
Oh, bloody hell! The pressure's on.
It really is. It's on for your impression as well. I can tell. Right. So last question.
All right.
In the 1840s, Tom Smith, a confectioner, set up a shop in Goswell Road, Clerkenwell. He sold bonbon sweets, which he sold in a twist of paper, the origins of the traditional sweet wrapper.
Right.
As sales of bonbons slumped, Smith began to come up with new promotional ideas. His first tactic was to insert love messages into the wrappers of sweets, similar to fortune cookies.
Right.
Smith was inspired to add a crackle element after hearing the crackle of a log he had just put on the fire.
Okay.
The size of the paper wrapper had to be increased to incorporate the banger mechanism, and the sweet itself was eventually dropped to be replaced by trinkets or fans or jewellery or other substantial items. The new product was initially marketed as the Cossack, which is French for Cossack. But in England, it became known as, and now remember, Frank, this is for 4 out of 4, it became known as a Christmas...
Exeter
Frank?
City.
Wait, what was that again, Frank? A Christmas...
Exeter City.
Oh, Frank. Frank, what have you done?
Open goal.
The way I go, tell him.
Go. Which your memories of that?
Actually crying. Yeah. Oh dear. It was so much fun to do that, wasn't it? But the thing that makes me laugh so much, I know I'm blowing my own trumpet, but it's the little, right?
Yes, that's a different.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't speak. Please, someone else take over.
Well, do you know what? Because obviously, as we've mentioned, some of us we're talking between shows, and Matt and Gull had said to me and Ridders that there's going to be a special guest for the Mr. Champ Challenge, but we had no idea. We didn't know who it was or whatever. So you can imagine when Frank Carson walked into the studio, that was quite a shock to begin with. But then when it started, what I do remember though is that we were both cracking up, but Ridders had completely lost it. But then when you said he's dead, I lost it as well. And all I remember from that, in fact, I think you got the picture. I'm like back in my seat, absolutely. And me and Ridders, we completely had lost it.
I mean,
through the entirety of that Master Champ Challenge.
When I could hear Gull laughing through trying to say it's a cracker, and then he's going, and then it's that was so good. That's the best thing you guys have ever done. I'll put that out there. That was so funny.
I must admit, I had forgotten. That was brilliant.
I'll come to Bygone in a second, if you don't mind. But I will say one thing. I think that's the only thing that Matt and I actually, I got in touch with them and said I had this idea. It's probably the only thing we've ever properly scripted as a
Yeah, it is.
It's a brilliant idea. That good. I love that. Love hearing that.
Bygone. Have
you heard that before?
I'm still crying. What did you think of that, Bygone?
I thought it was fantastic. It's comedy gold, though, isn't it? It's comedy gold. It's like you just said, it's scripted, but I thought it was funny. It's like you said, the little intricacies where you're going. It's just the noises and things like
he was
that.
throwing. You can tell he was throwing me off with that.
And my final question, when Matt goes on for about a week, and like there's a little gap, and I go, right. Thank you for playing that.
Yeah, listening to it, I don't. You just imagine him interviewing him, asking him the questions.
Well, you know the stupid thing as well. Actually, Bygone, when they answered number 4, I thought the whole thing was about like Frank Carson comes on and finally someone gets the 100% on the Master Champ Challenge, and I didn't for one second think he was going to say Exeter City. So again, of course, I completely lost it when he did that as well.
I was waiting for this. Where town?
But the question went on so long, I think Frank got confused.
He wasn't the only one, I can tell you.
Yeah, superb. And I like the way you said, it's the way I don't tell them.
Yeah.
The kind of the final line. Yeah, so there's some great shows then, between 60 and 70. We had Barry Tomlinson came back on.
Right.
And we did the Barry and David special. Do you remember that?
Amazing.
When we had them both on. So we played a bit of that. As I say, Ridders, you did the challenge, part 1, part 2. I did the comic life of Duncan Mackay. It's Mackay. And Johnny Cougar. And we had Giles Corran, because in episode 65, that was when we did the 1982 Weather Rovers Christmas issue. And obviously I'd sent him a copy of it because I'd spotted his letter that had gone in. And Giles Corran was, it was great that Giles agreed to come on, and we did a show there, episode 17. Just while we mentioned Giles, we just want to kind of say there was something in the press about him having early stages of prostate cancer. So we just want to kind of say, all the best to you, Giles. And I've listened to his podcast, and he does say it is a very mild form of it. So he's probably more putting it out there for awareness. But anyway, from everybody in the podcast team, we just all the best, mate, and thanks again. Thanks again for coming on the show. So going back to episode 68, let's play a little clip of Barry and David together, shall we? That was a brilliant episode.
Can I just start by saying that it was my idea, as you know, guys, to have Big Barry on here. I want to say on record that he is my hero. I'm forever grateful that he gave me the first chance and kept me in work most of my career. So I wanted to say a big, big thank you to Big Bar.
You're nice. And I'd like to thank you for all the ulcers I got. I wouldn't have had them without you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
That was just brilliant. I mean, I just loved the relationship those guys have got. When you think that's 50 years later, and that came through. That came through on that episode.
I just got to say, Matt, there as well. I'm not sure if we made mention, but we all meet before the episode starts, and we did say, look, we've got to press the record button, because just listening to Barry and David talk, we lost actually. Well, it was never recorded. Some absolutely magical moments that had us. Amongst ourselves, we were just cracking up, weren't we, listening to them? They were doing their goon stuff and other things as well. And it was like, look, we need to start this because all the good stuff's happening before we press the record button. It was a great episode, that one.
They were superb together. They really were. Yeah. So anyway, moving on. Now we're up to we're into the 70s now. And
into the 70s.
I can't believe we got to 70. Can you? It's amazing. And then we must have had another dip in quality or content, because we invited a certain Neil Berrigan on. Let's hear his the first time we ever heard Mr. Neil Berrigan.
We're also joined by a football comic fan, also a listener to the podcast. So, we're very happy to welcome Neil Berrigan. Hi, Neil.
Hey, you okay there? Thanks for inviting me on to tonight's show.
That was it, short and sweet.
That was it. The rest got edited out.
What's your memories of that, Neil?
I just remember, I think it was Paul who contacted me a few weeks before and asked if I would like to.
Oh,
yes, my fault. Yeah.
I've been in touch with him a few times regarding Roy the Rovers through the site and different things. And when he asked him, it was like, really? I've listened to a few shows, and it's strange to actually be invited on. And I wasn't even nervous, to be honest, when you first go on, because with listening, it just felt like, again, like you've listened to friends. I remember I've listened to the podcast on holiday, on the plane, and you're laughing, even in, like when I'm in bed, you're laughing. I'm laughing loud, or even answering questions, and you realise nobody can hear you. And then to come on the show, as I say, I was excited to come on and talk about Roy the Rovers and things like that, because as I say, I'm an avid reader. But yeah, it was lovely to speak to you all, and I've never felt awkward at all of coming on. I've never felt like I've rabbited on and spoke when I shouldn't have done. It's been really nice and comfortable coming on. I just do not like listening back to myself, because you don't realise you've got an accent until you listen to it. And
hold on a minute, old Grandad Gosden taking the mickey out of me.
I think it's more Northampton, actually, my accent. But no, it's, as I say, it's lovely to be invited on, and I say it every show, I'm really pleased to be here. But yeah,
you're saying that just in case we don't invite you back on, aren't you? I know. It's great.
No, it's going to be edited out, and all I'm just going to say died again.
Yeah, I mean those episodes. So between 70 and 80, we had, as well as yourself, we had an interview with Ozzy Lee, and I'm going to play a bit of a clip of that shortly. We had another Pete Nash special. Pete came back again. Paul Trevelyan.
That was just unbelievable.
Paul Trevelyan, and there's clips of him later on. I won't spoil it, but that's coming in. Simmo then decided 74 episodes later to do the second part of the Goals of Jimmy Grant.
Of Jimmy Grant, yeah.
Public demand. Do you remember that, Simmo?
74 episodes later.
Cliffhanger. Wow. There's cliffhangers and there's cliffhangers, isn't there?
I was building the suspense.
I mean, you've got Tangent Paul, who does 76 parts and speaks for 6 hours in 3 minutes, and then you've got Simmo, who does part 2 76 episodes later.
Yeah, well, I had to renegotiate the contract.
Let's not talk about contracts. Yeah, there's what others we did. I did Roy Race when he went in Gull. We did that a couple of times. We had the We Are United, the first We Are United comic. Did Nipper. I think Neil, you did the Brothers Picture Story Monthly 36, taken over from Ridder's mantle. You've been kind of holding up the keeping the Football Picture Story Monthly alive. Monthly, yeah, absolutely.
Off to the discotheque.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's go back to just hear Ozzy Lee. Do you remember this episode, guys? We got up at like 10 o'clock in the morning or something like that. And for Lee, it was like 8 o'clock at night. But on this clip, it was quite interesting talking to Lee, and he talks about the difference it was receiving comics over there in Australia. So let's listen to this.
When you received it, kind of what on the dates on the issues, were you getting them roughly that same time, or would it be a week later or 2 weeks later? Because in my mind, I always think back then it was, in Australia you'd have to wait to 2-3 weeks for your edition of Roy the Rovers.
Oh no, it's longer. Tangent,
wow.
It was between 4 to 6 weeks, between
so
following what you would have read and got in the UK, at least a month, but up to 6 weeks. And sometimes it would be, they would even, miss a week, or they wouldn't deliver for a week because the shipment hadn't arrived.
Right, yeah.
And then sometimes you get 2 issues, come the next week.
Okay.
Like cracking open an egg and getting a double yolk. I bet that was celebration times, right?
I just asked, Paul, how excited do you get when you have a double yolk? Is that
you don't want to know? Trust me, you do not want to know. I love a fried egg sandwich and a double yolk.
The first thing that came into your head was, "Oh, it's like getting a double yolk."
More exciting than who wants to be a millionaire getting to the 15th question, as far as I'm concerned.
Chris Tarrant here on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
That's brilliant. I love that. Yeah, and thanks again to Ozzy. What I liked about it, listening back to that, he called you Tangent. I love that. To have a guest on the show. It was so familiar with you being Tangent. He says, "Yeah, good question, Tangent."
Yeah.
You know, you made it when you know.
Exactly. I mean, you know,
say your nickname.
Tangent didn't have his nickname when he first started on here. He got his nickname because he goes on for bloody ever. Same with Bygone. You know, he wasn't called Bygone at first, but when we realised he likes looking back in time, we called him Bygone Berrigan.
It makes me laugh, Gull. You gave those nicknames on both our first episodes.
I know.
Well, you know, you've got to have an identity. Luscious Locks of Ridders, you know.
Yeah, I like that one.
Some of the nicknames have been given in the past. So.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on then, we're into the 80s now. Into the 80s.
Wow.
Well, it's very well into the 80s.
Don't talk to me about the 80s.
Yeah, 80s music.
Yeah, exactly.
Gull fold like an origami master.
Who did do Love Is a Wonderful Colour? Gull?
Oh, I don't care anymore.
Never mind. Okay, so into the 80s, we had Rags to Riches, Football Picture Story Monthly 53. We did The Footballer Who Wouldn't Stay Dead. Covered Striker Volume 26, Part 1, Part 2. That we had two of those. Always early years. And it was around about this time, this is September last year, that it was the 70th anniversary of Tiger. So we did two special shows. One with just Barry. And then we did one with Barry and David again. And yeah, it's quite nice. I'm going to play a little clip of this. It's what this is, you know, after we'd shown how over the years the different anniversaries were covered in the papers. And then after this, Barry and David said a few words. So I thought I'll play this.
Well, this was a great show and fabulous memories. And funny enough, I really enjoyed my time doing Roy and Martin's Mini and all the other stories. But one of my real things is music. And I found YouTube, so I could think of anyone like the Eagles. I just type in and a song, and there they are in the 70s, right? 60s and 70s. And I relate that to me. You know, I may be an old fart now, but my artwork is still timeless.
Yeah.
And it is there to like a singer's records. My artwork is there to be appreciated. So this is a great honour to be on here, especially with Big Bar, and really enjoyed it, my guys.
Excellent. That's great. Thank you, David. And to you, Barry, what are your final thoughts?
Oh, how do I follow that? But lovely words that people are saying. It's so much appreciated. When we produced the comics all those years ago, we never realised that they'll still be remembered after 70 years. So it's wonderful to hear what people say about it and that we remembered. And I think I should pay tribute to all the contributors, the writers, the artists, the editorial staff who helped produce these comics. We didn't realise at the time what we were doing. And had I known, I would have kept a lot more souvenirs from those days. I haven't got a single script that I wrote, so it would be nice to have kept some of those. I could sell them on eBay, of course.
Yeah.
So it's lovely to talk to David Skew again. And there's not many of us left anymore, so it's a pleasure to talk to him. I don't know whether or not the things I said.
That was so nice, wasn't it? It was so nice to kind of be able to do that and have those guys on those two shows. That was excellent, guys. What are your memories of that? Paul, you were interviewing as well, weren't you? And you, Neil.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I mean, for me, I mean, it was great. I mean, again, them together and just talking about that era was amazing, and listening to Barry's stories, how he first kind of got involved in it, and then David as well, and that you can just feel the appreciation from David. But also what I love about Barry is he always mentions, and unfortunately too many people to mention that are no longer with us, but all the contributors, the artists, the script writers and the editors and people, and it's so nice that Barry always pays homage to them as well when he comes on. And yeah, it was really nice to flick through those pages of the well, I think we did the first edition of Tiger, didn't we, with Barry in the first one.
Barry, yeah. What do you remember, Neil?
No, I just find them to be. It's strange to actually be talking to the people who created the great stories, that you read in the comics, and I think they're quite candid about their experiences. Especially Barry, which we're going to discuss later on about the Christmas specials, how he got artists to come in and actually write in the comics and things like that. It's just, again, it's just surreal that we're actually talking and asking these questions. But it's lovely the fact that they've repeatedly come on the show, and it's obviously something they enjoy as well, and they feel like they can share their experiences. I hope the listeners enjoy them shows, and we're asking the questions that they think that they would be asking as well. But yeah, I always enjoy it when Barry and when they're on talking to us. I think we could just let them just ask one question. They could talk for a full hour and give experiences. Don't think they need much encouragement.
I think with Paul Trevelyan, that actually did happen.
Yeah. I actually re-listened to that episode, as I say, because I knew we were doing this, and I did comment. I think you asked me at the end of the episode, "So, Paul, what did you think?" And I went, "Well, Matt, I think you did really well. You managed to actually ask a question." That was another one with Paul, which what I loved. We were desperate. We needed to press the record button. I mean, he was like a gun, wasn't he? He was like the starting line of a 100 meters race. He was ready to go, and woof, he was off.
An incredible man. Yeah, what an incredible character.
I mean, do you remember that was the same with David and Barry? We said we'll have to repeat some of these stories because we haven't pressed record. All the golden before we press record.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. Yeah. So some of the other shows we did around that time. I think, Paul, you did Kevin Nicholish when he signed for United. You did that. I think that was
that was to me. I mean, I think in the Champ comic, it was one of those weird ones because you know me, I like to go off on my mental commentaries, which I think is what's got me, which you couldn't do so much with the Nicholish. But building the story, because obviously he was only appearing in a couple of panels, but I just love that story. And for me, which is what we're about, because obviously there's a lot of focus on the Roy the Rovers, but we are the Champ, we are United comic. And as I always say, for me, that was the real difference with Champ, though, that moment in time, Kevin Nicholish appearing, playing against United several times over a couple of seasons, kind of really getting a feel for a character from another team. And I still, again, almost as good as a double yoke. Well, actually better than a double yoke. Getting that edition of Champ Kevin Nicholish is on the cover and he's putting pen to paper. I mean, it's wow. Nothing's going to stop Joe Pearson now. We have just signed the best striker, not in Britain, in Europe. It was just brilliant. So to be able to do that was, thoroughly enjoyable.
Yeah. And we did a few Collectors Corners as well. No doubt they'll come back in as well because I know that the listeners do like listening or about what we've recently bought or the editions or what we're looking out for, and we're noting which copies or which, because a lot of listeners out there are collectors themselves, so that's good to do.
I don't know if you're gonna touch, because I mean in that period we was like 81 to 90. Of course, there was that other listener, which was for me an amazing moment. You guys were on the pod, and Neil, it was you doing your thing, and you mentioned, I wonder if this gentleman's listening, and the winner of the Mattel Challenge went to Florida, Mal Dickinson, and I've said this all the time. It is, and I remember Gull, and I've got to say, Gull, again, great thanks when we come onto the show as just listeners. You make us welcome, and I made mention in my interview, like, crikey, you're interviewing me and you've interviewed the likes of Pete Nash and Barry Tomlinson. You really made the point that everybody that comes on the show is as important, and it's great that the readers and listeners that have come on. But I've got to say, I think everybody's been brilliant, but Mal, some of these stories were just unbelievable. Tony Blair, Vicar wanting to go on holiday. I mean, he was just one of the best interviews ever. It was fantastic. And
guys, do you remember that one, guys? Neil?
Me? Yeah, I was just going to say, it was, I think, I can't remember if we were reviewing it. It was in an annual, and I can't remember now, but it was
1985.
Yeah, that was right. And I reached out and I just said, if you listen, or just comment on the Facebook page, and it was just when you think it could have just been, it's me, but it wasn't. It was just somebody, and they came on the show, and it, like you said, it made for a great episode. But it was just like some of the, like you say, the surreal stories that came out of it. Like about how he was like, like, fair enough, he mentioned about his dad passing away, and different things like that, and it changed it. It affected his whole life. A competition win at Roy of the Rovers, and how much of an impact it had across his life. Like you say, Tony Blair wanted to play badminton, was it, with him, and
played tennis with him, didn't he? That's
that's seriously, when he kind of said, and the local MP turned up, you might have heard of him, and he says, Tony Blair. I mean,
I know. It's
like a race story, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was just, I mean, in all honesty, actually, if you were to re-release the comic, A Story of a Star, Mal Dickinson, he deserves a 4-parter just from that bit as A Story of a Star, I tell you.
Hang on, what did you say? Hey, that, Bob? I know what's coming. Is that Bobby Dazzler? Sorry, David Dickinson, isn't it? Can I be serious though for a second and talk about Mal? I thought it was very moving. He was coming on and talking about the passing of his father. Yeah. And it was just, it meant a lot to him to be talking about it all these years later, and have great memories of that time, and it was just very touching. I'm not saying words very well, but that episode quite moved me, actually.
It's very emotional, but fantastic.
When he won the competition, he didn't even win the game because he went to Florida and he got his mum to go as well.
And he was gutted about that, wasn't he? He was gutted about they went to Florida and they didn't give him a game. I mean, it would have cost him what, 30 quid at the time?
I know.
Funny.
He is undisputed though, isn't he?
Yeah, still the reigning champion. Still the reigning champion. Yeah, it was.
I'm not sure if he's up for challenges, so I don't know if he's got his Mattel Electro Olympic game console at home. Well, clearly he hasn't got one, has he? So he can't.
No, he can't, exactly.
Pulled the ladder up. That was episode 90. So if listeners haven't listened to that one, that was 90. That was great, and there will be a clip of that one later in the show, so we'll have a listen to that one. Then we're getting into the 90s. So in the 90s, we had friends of the show. We had Stratos and Nikos.
Yes,
remember our Greek friends.
Yeah, fantastic.
That was a great one. I've got a little bit of a clip of that one coming up soon, and then we meet some other characters as well, such as Grandad Berrigan and Cami Simmo as well. So I'm gonna play the clip first of Stratos and Nikos, and this is interesting because Stratos is talking about how they thought about the strips over in Greece and their knowledge of UK football and coming over here and stuff like that. So I just play the clip.
Was it not frustrating, the fact that, like the story seemed to come for a bit and then it'd go away? And
we didn't know. There was no internet back then.
Yeah.
I started really reading it after 1985. Right. And then I was so sure that there was a Melchester team in England. It was a real hero, a real player. because I was reading the sports pages every week to see the standings in the English league and see where is Manchester. I don't know where's Manchester. Why don't they have it?
That's brilliant.
Searching them up.
Searching them up. Yeah. You can go on holiday to Manchester.
When I'm old enough, I am going to go visit Mel Park.
Yeah.
Was you aware that there was a Roy the Rovers actual comic in England? Would you like?
We didn't know. I had an aunt who lived in England. Everybody has an aunt who lives in England, and or Cyprus.
We did as well.
Yeah, funny enough, so have we.
And I told her, I'm a fan, I love this. She came in the summer 1995, and I was reading the stories, manically. And she said, oh, I think I've seen it in the newsagents. I think there's a Roy of the Rovers comic, which was, wow, oh my God, there is a Roy of the Rovers comic in England. I was in England for the first time in 1986, summer of 1986. And I grabbed the holiday special.
Yes.
Yeah. With Roy with the England shirt.
The World Cup. Yeah.
And I didn't know there were holiday specials. We didn't know anything at the time, really. We just thought Roy of the Rovers was a part of a larger comic, as in Greece. So when I saw that there was a only football comic, it was like a dream.
I was going to say, when you saw that, and then you saw that in actual fact that there were 7 other football stories. I mean, that's...
Oh my God!
That must have been amazing. I mean,
yeah.
Just the guys, they've seen this strip for quite a while, and it's just a strip, and there's like another 7 stories in the comic. It's just, it's just brilliant stuff. What memories do you, of that episode, guys? Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I remember we more or less interviewed Nikos and Stratos it was just, again, it's just lovely to hear like different countries, like you say, with Aussie Lee, who also enjoyed the comics at the time. I mean, there must be, I'd love to talk to them about if they've got any experiences with any other comics other than Roy the Rovers, like your Champ or the Football Picture Story Monthly, because you see on some of the groups that in New Zealand they've had the football, Picture Story Monthlies of other editions, but not I don't know if they got the football ones as well. But yeah, I enjoyed talking to both Nikos and Stratos. Yeah,
I think that I wasn't a part of that episode, but I agree with what Neil said about the different countries and stuff like that. I mean, Ridders has been on since episode 2, and I still haven't understood a word he's bloody said.
It's not worth hearing. It's not worth hearing. You're all right.
I just, for me, what I didn't realise, I mean, obviously, to me, it's a similar interview with Aussie Lee, and you hear Aussie Lee, and it's Australia, they actually got the comic, albeit which really shocked me, like 6 weeks after the actual date, and then some weeks, it not turning up, and then getting to double yokes, so to speak, as it were, 2 editions. But then to hear Nikos and Stratos, and in actual fact, their experience of Roy the Rovers would be, imagine like in this country, just coming to it when it was in the Match of the Day magazine. So that just buying a magazine or another comic, and it had the story Roy of the Rovers in it. So it wasn't Roy of the Rovers comic, it was just the story. So they had no idea that there was a Roy of the Rovers comic, as you say, and that must have just blown. Well, you can imagine me. I mean, I would have self-combusted if I'd have been Greek and then found out that there was.
It would be like a triple yoke, wouldn't it?
Triple yoke.
The Marx Brothers. It just and that's I think the thing is, you kind of don't realize necessarily how lucky you are or not. But that was the thing that shocked me, because I just thought I'd seen their stuff on the internet and was aware of them on the Facebook pages, and you just make an assumption that the same as Aussie Lee, they actually got the comic, but their exposure to Roy is just the stories in another magazine, and what they also said were quite funny in that interview. It was then in 2 rival magazines, wasn't it? And they were both doing different eras of the which is
I know.
I mean, it's only like I get jealous that I think in Holland they had Billy's Boots as a story, and I think it ran for a little bit in Holland, and then you realise that like somebody's created them United novels.
I know,
and we've not got them.
Yeah.
So, but I can't be that jealous. We've got
you're going to upset Ridders again because he'll be absolutely
the Norwegian champ ones.
Yeah. Actually, I remember the day when I was in work. I can't remember. I was about 21, and I was googling Riverton United stuff, Hedgehog Jones and stuff like that, and it came up that their story. See, I knew them from the Picture Story monthlies, and then I was about 21, 22 in work, and all this stuff came up about this story of We Are United was in Champ, and that was a quadruple yoker, Paul. Honestly, it absolutely blew my mind. I went, right, well, I'm going to have to go out and buy Champ off eBay right now, because there was near 3 or 4 years, and Victor, 3 or 4 years of We Are United that I was such a fan of the story through Picture Story monthlies. It's been going on for years.
I think we've said it before. This podcast is driving up the price of these comics.
You should have bought shares.
I mentioned
£6-7 a comic per Champ now.
Wow, it's amazing. That is amazing. But just you saying that, Ridders, though, I had the opposite, and I mentioned this on my interview because I'd listened back to it. But I remember obviously the Champ story had stopped in Victor. Sorry, the We Are United story had stopped in Victor, and then of course they advertised the Football Picture Story Monthly. And I've mentioned this because I know you get excited there. Where was the pink pages double fold of Football Picture Story to say it's coming? And I get them to the newsagents, and obviously I didn't at the time I didn't know who John Stark was, and so that was story. I was mainly issue number 2, the We Are United story. But then the next month going to the newsagent, and for it to be 2 completely different stories, it was like no yolk in my egg, because I really was expecting one of the books to be the continuation of the United story. And although I love the Football Picture Story Monthly, I was heartbroken because for me this was, oh my god, there's this comic now that's going to be a monthly, and the We Are United story is going to run every month, and it didn't. I mean, it broke my heart. It really did.
Wow.
I had a similar experience because obviously I was aware of it in the actual Champ comic, but I had no idea about the Victor follow-on. And even with Picture Story monthlies, although I had at various times picked a few of them up, I'd never actually picked one up that had a United story in it. So it wasn't until I'd gone on the forum that I even knew that they were in that. So we're talking 30 years down the line. So I'd got 2 lots. I'd got the Picture Story Monthly and Victor. It was like, Christmas twice.
Yeah. Well, again, sorry to go on. So obviously, as we know, Champ ended and it merged with Victor, and the We Are United story went into Victor. And of course, I then purchased Victor. And of course, then, end of story. And then there's no We Are United. And I'm like, what's this? Well, I threw my toys out the pram, and I didn't buy Victor as a role. I didn't quite do a one-man picket outside DC Thompson's in London. But then, can you imagine? I then walked through a newsagent's, and there's Victor on the shelf, and there's Jimmy Grant, who I didn't really know
behind the counter.
Who was? Well, behind the counter, which was even more amazing. And can you believe, right? The shopkeeper was Frank Carson, but that's another story. But suddenly Victor's back, and there's the United strip on the cover, and then I'm fuming because, because in Roy the Rovers, unless it was reprints, if a story
you look like Victor Boscovich when you did that.
And then of course, then I had to keep on buying Victor just in case the United story came back. But
yeah, we can tell from behind you.
Oh god, yeah, it's great. It's really interesting for me. I hadn't heard of Champ, but all you guys came into the We Are United story in kind of different ways, and it's really interesting. Those, and then coming into the 90s, we've done some great shows. I mean, Paul, you did your fantastic Manchester Cup Winners' Cup. which is a thing of legend now, really. It's just you put that coat on, that John Motson sheepskin coat, yeah, really channeled Motson, didn't you, for that? That was superb. Simmo, you started, and you can continue your the We Are United Odyssey,
which was wonderful for me. I'm really chuffed that he's doing those sections and will continue to do so. I'm really pleased that you're doing those, Simmo.
Yeah, only another 28 episodes to wait.
And of course, Berrigan carries on, or Brinsden Berrigan, with his Football Picture Story monthlies. And on episode 98, we met a certain character who we come to love. So it's let's listen back to that episode.
And then that evening, he goes to visit this chap who looks a bit unkempt, and he says, "Is it a front door key with that lot?" I don't know. I'm doing the accent. And I said, "Yes."
Sorry, were you? I didn't pick that up. But...
I was trying to do it down, but...
Do you know what? I just laughed and wasn't going to comment on it.
Is there a front door key with that lot? So I was like, "Yes."
That's good. That was good.
Oh, I don't believe Nick Cotton is alive and well on the pod alongside his mum, Doc.
Go on. Do it again.
I've got another scene coming up. So he's like, they must be in a dodgy pub like the Nag's Head or somewhere like that. They're like, yeah, front door key, car key, the address, and one or two other keys. Could be a lucky find, Charlie. See what you can do, eh? I'll do it in the next couple of weeks, Rod. And he says, don't get caught, Charlie. If I'll deny I've ever seen you. And that evening, he's back in the Nag's Head, and the chap comes over again. Hey, bud. And he goes, I'll be right over. Those keys were beautiful, bud. Open the front door and a dirty great safe in the living room.
It just wouldn't sound as threatening with a Brummie accent, would it?
He's your end. Yeah, he moved up, though, because he's probably on the run from London.
Please, listeners, sorry to interrupt. Please, if you're not watching this on YouTube, go over to YouTube and just see the mouth that Bygone pulls doing that impression.
You know what? It reminds me of. Has anybody watched The Fall Rise of Reggie Perrin?
Yeah.
When he dies and then he comes back as his and he pretends he's his character, doesn't he?
I was talking about that today. That's probably
really? Well, that's exactly who you were doing. It's brilliant. Yeah. Carry on.
So anyway,
I mean, I thought it was a mix of between Grandad on Only Fools and Horses and Bob Hoskins.
Oh, I'll be honest with you. I thought he was warming up for the World Gurney Championships.
Anyway, no, he doesn't need to practice.
So anyway, I forgot where I went to. Oh yeah, so he says a dirty great safe in the living room, 800 quid in it. Here's your ring. I just see myself doing it.
Wow. Berrigan, what you got to say for yourself?
No, I thought it'd pop along. I don't ever. I'm giving him a hump now as well. You just seem to overtake me when I have to do a scene. Then he's got his Italian cousin.
I've got to say, sorry to repeat myself, but if you just listen to this, go over to YouTube and see the face he pulls again.
What about his Italian cousin, Paolo Certi? Is he? How's he?
Me hump disappears when I did the Italian.
Doesn't feel right to have Italian with a hump, does it? They're so cool and casual, aren't they?
I don't think nobody remembers the story, but Grandad Berrigan made his entrance, so...
Yeah.
I've got to say, it was a real small part in the Football Picture Story Monthly, but you have made it into a star.
You might have to interview him one day.
Exclusive Champ We Are United podcast. A special Football Picture Story Monthly has been released. 419. Grandad, you might have recognised him from the Klein and Powell story.
See why he was driven out of London.
What's the backstory? Yeah, we've actually, before we continue, there's a couple more messages actually just coming in.
Excellent.
So let's play a couple of those.
Ronnie Corbett here. I said as a producer, I said happy 100 episodes. I would have bought you a cake, but I only had 4 candles. What do you say to that, Ronnie Barker? 4 candles. Candles for folks.
The old ones are the best.
And actually, I think there was another message, wasn't there, Gull?
Yeah, just a short one there for Ronnie.
Yeah, it was. It's quite an emotional one, actually. It took us by surprise, didn't it? I mean, did you feel the same, Matt?
Well, I think it's the words. I think it's just kind of really powerful, really.
Yeah.
I don't know. Shall we play it? Shall we play it?
Well, should we tell everyone who it was?
Well, no. I think. Should we just play it?
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah. So it's one of the guests that came in previously, and yeah, just beautiful words. Here it is.
Oh.
Wow, that's amazing, wasn't it? Yeah. That was Larry Blackman from Cameo. I mean, I might play it again just to just so you can for the full power of those words. Here we go again.
Oh, couldn't have said it any better.
I think it encapsulates the whole 99 episodes till now, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Did you sit on something, Gull?
I haven't laughed this much for a long time. Oh yeah, that really moved me. That did.
Good. Okay, so then we're coming up to date now, and we do have a few more messages which we can play out on the show. But episode 99, the last episode.
99.
Last episode, yeah. Obviously, there was people who've listened to that realised there were a few technical difficulties, but what we managed to do was some brilliant piece of improvisation by the tangential one and Gull. So we were introduced to Simmo. So here we go.
Of a bit of the old Alex Jones magic here, and he's keeping the ball. He's gone through 2 of them. He's made them look complete mugs. He's dribbled his way all the way down, but he's got himself in a hole here.
Simmo, if we can get back to Alex's dribbling through the midfield, can you hear us?
The bloody free in the vent.
Simmo, the line. I do apologise to the listeners. The line to Goodfield is cracking up. It's a hot atmosphere in this FA Cup quarter final. Yes. Simmo, we just lost you there. If you can pick it up where Alex is, he's gone through a couple of the Southpool players. And he's going down the line. What can you pick it up from there?
Oh yes, he's taken a couple of them out with a lazy dribble. He's run himself all the way into the cup.
Go on, Hedgehog, get it over, please.
Yeah. Simmo,
come in, Simmo.
Sorry, and you join us here on the Champ We Are United pod. Unfortunately, the lines to Goodfield are currently down. We left the action at a crucial moment, but hopefully we can get Simmo back on the line. Simmo, are you there? What happened?
Yes.
We heard Alex was down by the corner flag. Can you give us an update, Simmo?
I don't know, Jeff. I thought it was a substitution.
Don't know, Jeff. What happened? Has somebody been sent off?
I didn't see a goal.
Brilliant stuff. That was, I love that. That was excellent. Well done. Yeah, well done, Paul. Well done, Gull.
Yeah,
well done, Simmo, as well.
Improvisation.
Brilliant.
What a recovery from Paul there.
Oh, now we can hear him.
Did that joke actually cross the ball? Did we ever get...
No, he's still out on the touchline dribbling.
Hold on, don't spoil Champ Part 5, Bygone, for everybody.
I'm going to get it till episode 150.
So
he disappeared down the discotheque. He got fed up of waiting.
Brilliant.
Ridders was in there, wasn't he? Yeah.
Having a
Have a pint for him.
Yeah.
So we've got some messages from listeners as well, so fans of the show. So I've got an email here from Aussie Lee, so I'm going to read that out, and then we've got a very special message.
We got email from a London. That sounded like South Africa. What was it? I'll do it again. Hang on. We got email from. No, it still sounds like it. Move on. Email from a land down under.
That's not Frank Carson. Was that Northern Irish Australian?
It's a cracker. Email from a land down under.
That was
good. Australia.
That was much better, actually.
So, Aussie Lee, I do apologise if you are here. Here we go. Right. So, hi team. Just a few thoughts for your upcoming 100th episode. It's a massive milestone and one you should all be proud of, and everyone who has previously hosted too. I discovered the podcast pretty early on after seeing your account on Twitter and have probably listened to every episode over time, seeing how the show has evolved and grown over time, attracting great guests like Giles Corran, Barry Tomlinson, David Skew, Paul Trevelyan and Pete Nash, even giving a few of us the chance to come on and share our stories with you all as well. I remember there was a hiatus there for a little bit after a couple of the original presenters dipped out for different reasons, but I'm glad Gull helped bring it back and others that have joined the crew since. How the show has developed beyond its original remit in some ways to tackle different topics. But my favourite part of the podcast is really the banter between everyone and the atmosphere you create. It truly feels like listening to a bunch of mates sitting down to chat and joke about our favourite childhood comics and magazines, share some memories and have some fun. The podcast feels inclusive and that you genuinely enjoy each other's company and appreciate the listeners and our feedback. And we have discovered some hidden comedic depths in recent weeks. It's become quite the cast of characters now. Anyway, all the best on the big 100 and look forward to many more episodes to come. I'm sure you have other listeners down under, so big congratulations from everyone in Australia and beyond. All you need now is a message from Roy himself to celebrate. Best wishes, and I will be tuning in to hear what the anniversary episode brings.
Oh, wonderful.
Fantastic. Yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Much appreciated. Yeah.
Superb stuff.
Yeah, he hits there on the head a few times there, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah.
He does. Yeah, he gets it.
He does say
on.
that there's a huge cast of characters. I've just realised there is one person that hasn't made an appearance yet. I hope she does before the end. So, I hope she does turn up before the end, but she's been very quiet. Carry on, Matt.
Can I just say as well, like we're saying, friend of the show, we had David's drawing of that exclusive drawing of Roy of what he'd be look like
when he was 80. Yeah. That was amazing.
That's fantastic. It's something exclusive to to the show and for our listeners and the people who've obviously been able to view it.
And talking of exclusives, I mean, Pete Nash, he revealed to us here, didn't he, that he was going to be doing, extra stuff. But humbling. Carry on. Sorry, Matt.
No, it's fine. No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is it. There's so much, like I said at the start of the show, over 200 features, 100 episodes, 150 hours, it's some fantastic memories. And you say that drawing which David did for us, he did it just for us. He had no, received no payment for it. And, for David, that's quite tough. As we've realised over the years.
I must admit, I've had to create a rule in the mailbox so that it just goes into junk from David at the moment. He has asked 500 times.
But yeah, that, and it's an incredible piece of art. Yeah, and I can remember the first time I saw it, I felt quite emotional. So messages from listeners. So we also got a message from, I don't know, I'm not going to say our biggest fan or our biggest friend of the show, but is a guy who's part of our team really. There's 6 of us here on this call, but we definitely do think of him as a integral part of the team, as well as there's lots of other fans of the show as well. I'm thinking of George Prince, Adrian Lord, all these guys as well, and too many to mention really, John Evans. But we did get a very special message from the Melster, so it's quite long, but I'm going to play it, and It's absolutely brilliant. So here we go. The Melfster.
Greetings, Champ We Are United musers. It's the Melfster here, live from the Corridor of Uncertainty, bringing you Melvin's Musings' favourite podcast moments and episodes.
Whoa, it's Melvin's Musings.
You say McKay, I say Mackay. In at number 5 with a Racy's rocket is episode 97, in which the tangential one donned his sheepskin coat and summoned his inner John Motson to bring us the conclusion of his epic Roy of the Rovers comic feature, which charted Melchisor's 1984-85 season and European Cup Winners' Cup campaign.
And Roy gets on the ball, Bazora charges in, but it's a fantastic body swerve from Roy. He's evaded the challenge, he's left Bazora. He's taken out his own teammate. Roy's continued the move forward. The Spanish defenders are backing off. He's lobbed the ball into the penalty area. Can you believe it's Duncan McKay? It's a great chance. Surely this is the way to exact revenge for his brother. A Santana defender's coming. He's elbowed McKay. And it's, yes, the referee's blown the whistle. It's a penalty.
Oh, I say, Dorothy Gordon here.
Leaping Tubby Morton-like up to number 4 is episode 70, which saw a tasty encounter between Mute Button Matt and the Times food critic Giles Corran.
I reckon I probably started about 1979 when I was 10, but the key thing is what happened was, like, not long after starting to read them, I had maybe 10 copies. The school had a jumble sale, and a boy called Alexei Vasilikis, a name I haven't thought of for 40 years, he was a couple of years above me. He was throwing out his old Roy of the Rovers, and he threw out probably 4 years of Roy of the Rovers. From when did it start, Roy? Was it?
Well, the self-titled comic was 76.
76. So there you go. It was basically all of them going back to, and obviously Roy was in Tiger, wasn't he? Before
yes.
That? He had missing ones. But I then had a sudden stack of like 150 of them, and I read them. Then I got them, and then I read them right through. That letter that I had published, I was surprised when you sent it to me to discover it was as late as it was, because it was 81 or 82. I was 13.
Oh, I say, Dorothy Gordon here.
Roaring up to number 3 is episode 86, the Tiger Comics 70th anniversary celebration's second leg, with special guest editor Barry Tomlinson and artist David Skew. The two titans of the comic book world both bared their teeth, and late on, David Skew produced a trademark stunner that had all Melchester Rovers fans off their seats, a picture-perfect portrait of Roy Race in the autumn of his years.
I asked David if he could think about what Roy might look like today. He was 16 in 1954, so he would have been 86 today. I asked David if he could draw a rough sketch, and he sent me this just a few days ago, so I'm going to show everybody who can see the screen now the picture of Roy today.
Wow. Fantastic.
I was going to put a speech balloon on there, but it'd be unbroadcastable, so I left it.
No, it's very good, David, very good.
Oh, I say, Dorothy Gordon here.
Climbing all the way up to number 2 is episode 75, the Paul Trevelyan Master of Movement special, in which the Beaver was once obliged by Winston Churchill and also taught a few lessons in how to draw Roy of the Rovers by two footballing legends.
That's Mr. Winston Churchill on the phone. I picked it up.
What? Wow. No way.
Is that Trevelyan? He said, Winston here. Be at the Burnett Sunley Buildings, 11:30, Wednesday. Oblige. What does oblige mean? You've got to be there. When I was doing Roy of the Rovers, he would phone me up and say, Paul, you got Roy leaning too far back. The ball would have gone over the bar.
Right, okay.
I said, it looks good though, doesn't it? He said, no, the ball would have gone over the bar. They were my teachers. That was Alf Ramsey and Bill Nicholson. They were tremendous.
Oh, I say, Dorothy Gordon here.
Hold on, Dot. Before we announce the number 1 Melvin's Musings Ballon d'Or moment, let's listen to the most memorable of moments from when the podcast started.
So, very good evening to you and welcome to what is a historic occasion. We have waited many years, it feels like, for this, but it's episode number 1 of Champ We Are United podcast. And right away, you're going to be wondering, what is Champ?
Thank you, Rav. Well, you had Roy of the Rovers, and I was getting a little bit disillusioned in the mid-80s. Hang on a second. Simmo's just texted me. Do you want me to read it out?
Yes, we've just had an apology from Simmo, who is definitely going to be joining us on next week. Actually, the next podcast. He's unfortunately had one or two technical issues tonight, I think, but we know that Simmo is going to be back with us soon.
And after a further 99 epic episodes, Simmo is still having technical issues.
Oh, sorry, Dorothy Gordon here.
So, at number 1 is an episode that wise muses say you can't help falling in love with. Away the Lads! It's episode 90 featuring Malcolm Dickinson, the reigning Mattel Electro-Olympic champion. In an exclusive interview with Gull, Mute Button Matt, Tangent Paul and Bygone Berrigan, the likely lad from Stockton-on-Tees revealed how he became the Roy of the Rovers comic representative and managed to keep a cool head to win a holiday of a lifetime for both him and his parents to the Sunshine State of America. Malcolm's remarkable odyssey is truly inspirational.
It would have been about July, August time when a white envelope came to the house. My mum and dad at work. And I didn't see white envelopes, you saw brown ones with pictures on the front, you knew it was a bill or whatever, it was one of those things. And I remember clearly it's sort of the stamp on the top of it, not the stamp itself, but sort of the postmark or what, IPC magazines. I remember clearly that happening. And me getting that at sort of 9 a.m. and having to wait till sort of 1:30 until someone came home from work and basically sitting at the end of the street up a tree. Genuinely, that's true. That's completely true.
Oh, really?
Whilst completely true. Waiting for them to walk home from work and then sort of jumping down from the tree and confronting her and going, you need to open this. I entered the competition months ago. Let's see what's happened. Yeah. So it was, you go down on the Friday and you come back on the Sunday and you have 2 nights in this wonderful hotel in South Kensington. I've never stayed in a hotel before. I'd never been on holiday before. And then the next day it was off to Olympia for this huge exhibition thing. Thousands and thousands of people there. It was really, really intimidating. I remember wearing my school trousers because my mum wanted me to look smart. And my school shoes and feeling like a right absolute plonker. But there you go. And then we were given sort of half an hour or so to practice on this game. And then we were sort of brought onto the main stage.
So when did it actually hit home to you that you'd won this prize?
TV was there, the radio was there, the newspapers were there. The local Catholic, I'm not Catholic, the local Catholic priest turned up, knocked on the door and said, this is a prize for 2. We don't want divorces in the village. I'll take him. That is a very true story. This big Rover 3.5 Vanden Plas thing. Remember those cars? The great big long things? One of them pulled up outside the house. And who the hell is this? So I went and opened the door, and it was our local MP, a fellow called Tony Blair. You'll have heard of him.
You're kidding me?
No, I'm not. Well, initially it was holiday for 2. That became a holiday for 3 with sort of some negotiations between IPC and my mother, who really wanted to go. And then obviously I wasn't going to go with the local Catholic priest.
Do you think it really changed you as a person?
100%. I've mentioned this. I think you said it on your socials in one of the previous pods that I've got Barry to thank forever for this. It 100% changed my life. I had aspiration, I had ambition. I'd seen good things happen to people who try the best.
Thanks for the great escape as always, lads. Here's to another ton of football comic podcast episodes.
Oh, sorry, Dorothy Gordon here.
Whoa, it's Melvin's Musings.
Wow, unbelievable! Wow. Go. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm just blown away by that. That's just incredible. Fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm going to call him by his first name. That's how emotional I am. Thank you, Trevor. That was amazing. I'm speechless. Thank you.
Ridders? You haven't heard it, have you? That's the first time you've heard it, I think.
Yeah, that was just brilliantly put together. It's how the people who listen to the show seem, they've taken to us and how they're into it. I remember looking on our Facebook, the Champ We United Facebook, comments from one of the pods last year, maybe early last year, and there were guys interacting, making jokes that were in jokes on the pod, and the guys who were listening to the pod were making I can't remember what the in joke was, but they were using our pod in jokes as part of their conversation. You think, oh wow, people are buying into this. They're just enjoying the content. I think it's fantastic, and obviously the Melvster is, it's just like, that's such good work. Well, just thanks. That's amazing. Speechless, really.
Neil?
Ken, I agree. I think it just sums up what a fantastic show this is, and this has got a feel of like this is your life about it, hasn't it? And, it's all these like guests coming out and being wheeled out, and we're sharing the memories. But I've only been with you a few episodes, and like I said before, it feels like a family. But I really enjoyed listening to that message, and then
Simmo,
it's a little bit emotional, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Come in, Simmo. Simmo, come in.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me? I'm having my usual technical difficulties. I'm looking at a screen with 4 frozen faces on it at the minute.
That's Botox.
Yeah. I mean, Trev is an absolute genius. I mean, the way he puts them together, it's like the guy should be doing radio work. He should be doing voiceovers or something, film intros, and the fact that he's gone to so much effort, but for us guys, I mean, it's humbling. You know what I mean? Because we're just a bunch of random idiots who love comics, and he's obviously really invested in it, and that's great. Really brilliant.
It is. And Tangent?
Oh, yeah. I mean, what a voice note. I don't think any of us thought we were going to get anything like that. And as you said, we don't single Melvin out because all the listeners and all the feedback that we get is brilliant. But, he writes such a lot after each episode. I think we all appreciate it. That's an amazing voice note. And, yeah, Trevor, as Gull said, the Melvin, it really is. It's humbling. And it's so appreciated. But again, to all the listeners, everything there. But that as well, again, that clip with Mel Dickinson. I mean, I've heard it I don't know how many times, but it just cracks me up every time. And there's Rover Van den Pla. You heard one of them, and out steps Tony Blair. I mean, God, unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, brilliant voice clip. Thank you so much, Trevor.
Yeah, cheers, Trevor. Right, so we've got a few messages now coming.
Oh, you didn't ask Ridders.
You started with Ridders.
Yeah, started with me, Golky. Come on, Gull, keep up.
you know when you're wiping away the tears, Gull, you've got to listen as well.
I'm watching. I've got tears running down my cheeks, and Tangent went on for so long, and I forgot Ridders had done it.
Might have known how to get the blame somewhere.
Right, so we've got. Go on.
Simmo?
Simmo is currently the physio is currently massaging the wires.
Yes.
Simmo, are you there? The line's a good field. It's broken. Are you
there? I can hear you, mate. Can you hear me?
Hedgehog's down by the corner flag. Have you got an update
for us? Anyway.
Oh dear. Right, a few more messages then. So this is from the wonderful Pete Nash.
Hi guys, this is Pete Nash, creator of Striker. Congratulations on your 100th podcast, and thanks for including me on a few of them. And huge thanks as ever to the fans who supported Striker through thick and thin. We're both celebrating anniversaries because this time 40 years ago, I was renting a flat in Fulham and drawing my first rough sketches of what would eventually become Striker. I'm not sure if you'll still be doing podcasts in 40 years, but I wish you every success for many more episodes to come.
What about that, guys?
Amazing.
Great stuff.
You've never known me speechless, have you?
Not often.
I say it's quite good.
I mean, we do need to get Pete back on a bit more for that reason alone.
Sorry, go on, carry on.
It's been touched on before, and we've mentioned it in the past. I still cannot believe my and our heroes have come on our podcast, and we've chatted to them, and yeah, I can't speak.
Okay, I'll go over to Dan Wayne then, because I see Dan Wayne on the screen. Dan Wayne, what do you think of that? Oh,
Great message, but still upset that Durrell's United took place and we had to fold the club. Mind you, moved to Wolverhampton Wolves and won the FA Cup, so I got the last laugh in.
It's Bygone and Ridders here, and I didn't know you were going to come to me, so Gull's going to do an impression. Oh, that Pete Nash thing was bloody lovely, wasn't it? Hey.
Can you do an impression of Bygone doing Grandad Berrigan?
This is Bygone, and I'm going to do Grandad. I said I was going to meet you down the lane. So the answer to that was no.
Yeah. Very good, very good. Right, so a couple more messages. Let's wait for Neil to come back, shall we?
I can
just edit this out.
Buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, just on that again from Pete, and as Gull said, to get these people on, and I know you guys have exchanged numbers with David Skew, but honestly, I seem to be all right on the pod. I'm too nervous to actually. Seriously, these are like Hollywood actors and big football stars to me, so I'm too nervous to actually talk to them outside the pod. Even though I chat to them and interviewed them on the pod, I'm still starstruck.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I remember when I first Sorry, Neil. And we're going to play the last couple of clips. We've waited for you to come back. We're just chatting to Dan Wayne. Actually, we got more out of Dan than we did you.
I love Dan.
You're gonna have to listen back because you spoke in the last 2 minutes, even though you weren't there. So you're gonna have to listen back to see what happened. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just before we continue, when I got my picture, obviously David did the picture of me with Roy. I can remember even because he emailed me. This is during lockdown. This is like summer of 2020. Even when I was emailing my response back, my fingers were kind of shaking. Yeah. I think I'm actually emailing back the Roy the Rovers artist. So you talk about getting nervous. I couldn't even type.
No, I remember when I approached him, I was just like, "What am I doing? This guy's going to tell me where to go."
Well, but he found as long as you pay him, you can do anything.
I just say, but that just briefly though, but that's what I love, that these guys have come on and we can actually take the mickey out of them and know that it's all taken, and like you say, you just feel like you're friends and mates with them now as well. It's just it really is. It's mind blowing.
I don't know if you've mentioned it, but I've just had to pop out for an emergency. If there was a bloopers reel, that Christmas one where Barry's just got. If you can watch it on YouTube, it starts off daytime and it just. I wish sat there in the pitch black with a Santa Claus hat on and beard.
We need to mention that. I thought you were going to say the first Barry and David one we did when David couldn't sort out his microphone for 45 minutes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There was me trying to do IT support down the line.
That was awful. That was unbelievable. Right. Anyway, so let's we can reminisce ourselves after this. Let's finish off. So there's two more messages. One from David and one from Barry. Then what I'll do is I'll come around for like people's final thoughts, and then Gull, you're gonna end the show, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Right. Okay.
Oh, you editing this bit out?
Yeah. Right. So there's two more messages. So here's a special message from David Skew.
Hi guys. Wow. Can't believe that you've reached a century. Fantastic. Superb. Well done. I'm actually lost for words. Well, not actually lost for words. Well, having been on your show once or twice, you know that I'm not particularly a fan of football. But Roy the Rovers came to me back in the day, and I had a mortgage, a wife, 2 boys, and a dog, and 2 gerbils to support. So I took it on as a job of work. But But what I've learned from listening to your shows and being on there is that although I enjoyed it, maybe because I enjoyed doing it very much, I've learned from you guys how much pleasure and joy that I gave to you guys when you were in your youth. And that's something that makes me very proud. And so I just want to wish you all the best, and here's to the next 100th shows. Bye.
What about that?
Incredible.
Great stuff. Yeah, brilliant stuff. Okay, let's play Barry's in, and then we can kind of. So this is a message from the great Barry Tomlinson.
This is Barry Tomlinson, the former editor and group editor of comics such as Tiger, Roy the Rovers, Scream, Eagle, Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, Wildcat, and quite a few others. I just want to congratulate the podcast team on reaching 100 years of broadcasting. What's that? It's not 100 years, it's 100 episodes. Well, I'm going to say that every episode was absolutely brilliant, well researched, well presented, and it's a pleasure for me to listen to what you've got to say and to hear you discussing the comics that I edited all those years ago. And to appear on the podcast is a great privilege and a pleasure. It's great to meet such old friends as David Skew, the Roy the Rovers artist, and to listen to his jokes. They're the same jokes he was telling about 50 years ago, but that's show business. Congratulations again on 100 episodes. They've all been brilliant. I look forward to hearing 100 more. Well done, lads. Real Roy the Rovers stuff.
Wow. What about that, eh?
Brilliant.
Amazing, isn't it? Just like kind of hearing those messages from, heroes that created those comics all those years ago. It's as you say, humbling. Yeah, it's just amazing, really.
Sorry, Barry Tomlinson saying to us, it's a privilege to come onto our show. Yeah, unbelievable. Really is.
Yeah. Well, we're coming towards the end of the show now. So I'm going to kind of say my goodbyes, but I'm going to come round to everybody on the call to get their final thoughts, thinking about the last 99 episodes and today, and all the clips we've listened to, but also maybe some of the shows we haven't even mentioned because there's so much to cover. You can't cover it all. And then Gull, you're gonna finish off the show. And we'll be back for 101 as well. So this isn't the last show.
101?
No way.
That would be weird.
So I'm just going to say I've really enjoyed today's show. Really enjoyed putting it together. And just looking back over what we've covered, it's mind blowing, really. It's been amazing to have the chance to speak to, say, some of my comic heroes. But it's been amazing to be able to meet like-minded people, such as the people I'm seeing on this screen now. That's been a huge part of the enjoyment of it, and it's been great fun. And it's a great laugh, and I'm looking forward to many more episodes as well. So I'm going to come around the clock. So let's go to Simmo. Simmo, can you hear me there, Simmo?
Yeah, we're okay at the minute. That's it. You come to me while I'm still online because I could be dropping out any second. Yeah, it's this 100 episodes have been amazing. It's been informative. I've learned stuff about things, comics I didn't even know existed. It's been hilarious fun, and hopefully there'll be many, many more to come. And the best thing is meeting you guys. That the rest of it is nothing without you guys. It's just brilliant. Wonderful.
That's nice, mate. Thank you.
Friends for life.
Tangent Paul?
Well, as Simmo said there, I agree. But you know what? Like a summer special, like Roy, who couldn't score for England without wearing a Manchester top. Just want everybody on the pod to know I can't perform as well. So Made sure I had my Melchester top on underneath
Too much
the
information,
bow tie
Bob.
and everything. So that's what gave me the confidence to still perform in today's pod. But as Simmo said there, a humbling experience. Can't believe. Thank you so much for inviting me on that first interview, to be called back and then to become part of this wonderful team. And Simmo, actually, I can't say it better. I feel that I've met a group of guys and friends for life, real kindred spirits, and it's a joy coming on and sharing this pod with you and being a part of it. As Barry said, I feel privileged to be asked to come on every episode.
Lovely. Neil, come out to you.
Yeah, I think I've said it all the way through today's show. I've really enjoyed recording this 100 episode, and I've really enjoyed every moment I've spent on the past shows as well. As somebody who's been both a listener and now of being on the show as well, I see both sides, and I don't want to feel like we're all blowing our own trumpet about what a great show we record. I think we see that in the feedback that we do get. I think it is a fantastic show. We're the only one of the kind out there, and as they've met you guys. And I love the features we're doing. Hopefully we've got many more to come over the next 100 episodes. Hopefully we never have a exciting news for our listeners show. But as again, thank you for inviting me to appear on the show, and I look forward to many more.
Brilliant stuff. Thanks, Neil.
Thank you very much.
And he's been back, and it's been fantastic having you back as well, mate. Ridders.
So echoing the words of the guys, but thanks for inviting me back on for the 100th. It's been nice chatting to you again. Just that's it. Been just nice coming back on, hearing the messages. It's a real nice community, isn't it? It's sort of us sort of doing the podcasts through the years, and then expanding out to the people who listen. And then expanding out to the people who created the comics, and then it expands out and interviewing all kinds of people. Yeah, it's a nice community. I'm glad we're all into all this stuff, and just thanks for inviting me on. I've really enjoyed it. It's been great. Yeah, really good. Thank you.
Excellent. Well, great to see you again.
Excellent.
And Gull.
Back on, mate.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's
come back
brilliant.
again. Come back.
Yeah,
again.
Ridders, come on. You know you're part of the team.
Episode 150. No, we'll see.
Well, at least you'll be back on before Simmo does the next part of his.
Jimmy Grant. Go. I'll hand it over to you to finish off.
Okay, so first of all, I just want to pay tribute to you guys and everyone. I'm going to just, name check a few people that aren't here that have been part of it. Verso, of course, Rab. Kosh Davey and David Cross, who were on a particular episode with me. Thank you to them. Of course, you guys, Ridders, Matt, Neil, Paul, and Graham. Yeah, I called you Graham, Simmo. I know. I can't believe it either.
I can't believe you did that.
Well,
it's blown my alter ego.
Yeah, that's on the YouTube version, so it's not secret. Ridders really said it well. That we've gone from just 4 people that wanted to get together to look after our mental health at COVID times, and we recorded it, and then it grew and grew and grew, and here we are 100 episodes later. It's just fantastic. I can't believe the friendships that we've created here, the fact that we've never met, but we plan to rectify that at some point in the future with us doing an episode, getting together all in person. So maybe look forward to that, listeners. I want to pay tribute to the listeners. We wouldn't be what we're doing without your feedback and you listening. It's great to see how many listeners we have. I know I'm going on, but it's important to say these things. I've never been so bloody serious. Thank you so much for every person that's listened to even minutes of any of the episodes. It is very much appreciated. We are humbled. And yeah, I do also want to say, not, picking anyone out in particular, but I just want to say thanks to Matt for all of the hard work in putting tonight's episode together. It was really, really brilliant work. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm a bit emotional actually, which I didn't expect. I just want to thank everyone that's been involved. We love doing the podcast, and I've got a few tears going down my cheeks. So, should we wind things up? Shall I say goodbye?
Hey, Gull, just thank your agent, thank your God, and get off.
What about Dorothy Cotton? What about Dorothy?
Yeah, where's Dot?
Hang on a second. I just Dot, do you want to hang on? Dot, do you want to come in? Oh yes, please. Oh, here she is. Have you got a message for the 100th episode?
Oh, I say, Stories Gordon here. Oh, well done on 100 episodes. I've worked on at least 97 of them. I've smoked so many fags, and I've made so many cups of tea. It's been a bloody privilege. I like all of you apart from Paul Tangent Richardson. Thanks very
much. Well, there we go. We've had Dot Cotton slip into Michael Caine there.
Don't throw bloody spears at me. Oh, God. Quick, please end the podcast because we've been going on for hours. No, thank you very much for listening.
You're only supposed to blow the bloody headphones off.
Simmo?
Yes.
Shut up. So, I've been looking forward to saying that. No, seriously, though, we have a great banter here, don't we? And I just want to, say I've loved every moment of all 100 episodes. Thank you for listening. We will see you in episode 101. And it's a good night from everybody here. Good night.
See ya.
Good night from me, and it's good night from him.
Bye. Ricky!